Stadium. You're listening to the Richland Raiders versus the South Fulton Red Devils in the second round of the TSSAA playoffs here on WKSR Sports Network and the NFHS Sports Network. I'm joined as always by my partner, Jennifer Hawkins. Jennifer, great to be here as always. A little warmer tonight, picturesque football weather.
Yeah, after we froze just a few weeks ago at Moore County, I think everybody knew I was a little chilly by the second half. But, Jennifer doesn't do cold. That's one of my standard sayings. But perfect weather for round 2 of our playoff game as the Raiders, again, get to be here at Wayne Hobbs in front of the home crowd. So welcome into Winville is what we have renamed Linville, Tennessee, as these Raiders have been, showing out in front of the home crowd. And so this is going to be a fun matchup with a team that we don't know a lot about just because of the distance between them and don't get a lot of looks into South Fulton. But on paper, they look pretty good, Mark, but it's more important about what you put on the field.
Absolutely. And, of course, we're in the second round of the TSSAA playoffs here at the Class A level. Some of you may be interested in the fact that South Fulton, that's not a team we traditionally play in the second round, and the reason is because this year the TSSAA, that's a mouthful, playoffs are slightly changed. The second round, the 2 and 3 seeds who won the first round actually moved to a new pod. So a great example of that is the fact that, Richland was in the same region as Fayetteville City and Eagleville, who finished second and third. Yet Fayetteville City and Eagleville will actually be moving out to a different pod. So even if, they pulled off upsets this week in their games, next week, Richland would not be playing them because they will not meet them until at least the semifinals. And so it's nice in one sense because some of the traditional teams in which, hey, you play them every single year, if you're the 1 seed, they're the 2 seed, that 2 seed may be blocked from a deeper postseason run due to the fact that, they have to play that 1 seed who you may be number 2 in the state, they may be number 1. And so now this has removed that from the equation. However, we talked about it on the show this week, Jennifer. That has created some extra travel. We saw a statistic from Tri-City Sports this week in which they did the deep dive on the travel for the second round last year compared to this year, and it is about a 270% increase in travel in total miles traveled because last year you had around 6,000 miles traveled in the second round by all teams in public schools combined. This year, 15,000. So, that is a bit of concern. And South Fulton, it's going to be a 342-mile round trip for them to come here and to go home.
Yeah, I know. You think about as this game wraps up tonight, and then you got to kind of get these guys a snack, get them back on buses, get them loaded up, and then you still got to make that trek back home.
Right.
That's a full-day adventure for some of these teams. Some teams did luck out, and they're hosting, and that's where the Raiders fall into that category tonight, or they didn't have to travel far. But, yeah, there were some when you look at the mileage, you're thinking, my goodness, that's a weekend vacation getaway for some of these teams. And so I'm curious what coaches really, truly think about it. Like you said, I think it is kind of nice that you're getting to see some different looks. And, because like we keep mentioning, we don't know a lot about this South Fulton team because we don't play them. They're not in our area. They're not in our, general vicinity for us to kind of keep track of. And so we have to kind of go with, I talked with some of the guys this week at school, what their thoughts were. They've watched film, but you just still don't have a good feel about what this team really is about. And, and then you got to think about all the finances and stuff that go into it. So there's pros and cons to both sides. So there you go, English teachers, all you pro-con people of years past. Yeah, write your paper there. There would be a good one to research on the TSSAA and see what their thoughts are after this first year. Trial and error. I mean, I guess you got to change some things up to get a different look at competition, but also, did they consider the mileage of what could happen?
Right.
Or is that kind of a side effect that they're like, oh, we didn't think it out this far? I don't know. There's still some questions there. I'd like to know what coaches are wondering as well as they're having to swap film with different groups of coaches they probably don't know as well, don't run the same circles. But, we'll just see what plays out here for tonight.
So it'll be the Richland Raiders hosting the South Fulton Red Devils. Both teams 9-2 on the season. So there are 3 different ways that you can listen to or watch this game. Of course, many of you are listening, as usual, on our YouTube or Facebook page. But tonight, a special treat. Coach Nick Patterson is good friends with a man named Will Pettis from Summertown, and he was kind enough to bring us probably the highest quality video that you will ever see for a Richland Raider game, as we have 3 cameras, instant replay, the whole package. That will be going out on the NFHS network there. And so if you are willing to pay the small subscription fee for NFHS network, we're not telling you to do that or not to do that. That's really neither here nor there for us as KSR Sports. But for those who want to see the video experience, then you can do that through NFHS network, in which there will be 2 video streams. One is the traditional camera, which varying quality. I'm not going to say good or bad. But one is going to have our audio on it and also have a 3-camera setup. Just unbelievable. So really, really impressed with what Will has brought to the production this week. And it's really a treat. So a huge shout out to both him and Coach Nick Patterson, who are willing to make this happen and give folks the opportunity to not only watch it, even though we're not allowed to as KSR, but to watch such a high-quality production.
Yeah, and we wanted to clarify that for our regular viewers.
Right.
They're like, you get to playoffs and you guys just quit on us? And we're like, no, we're doing what legally we were allowed when they get to playoffs. The rules change as far as streaming and such goes. So, but yeah, just a huge shout out to Will to help us out tonight. We're glad to have him along as part of the team. And if you want to get your eyes on the Raiders, and it's a small subscription fee. It's about $7 for the month, but you can get other games and stuff. You could even possibly go back. I believe you can get, our cheer team competed at state competition in Knoxville on November 6th. I only know that because it was my birthday. So see, I remember, so they performed so well just for me. Everybody remember that. But no, but that was just a few weeks. So you could go back and, replay that and stuff. And so for $7, which is a little cheaper than coming to the live game, or if you want to watch it again over the weekend, then you could do that and enjoy this game plus some others. You could look up a few things and, look at a few things on the Richland stream as well. So, so it's not a huge deal. You don't have to buy the yearly expense. You can pay month by month and enjoy some good football. And then it'll cover you for next week as well, because then the Raiders continue their win streak here at home. Hey, we got another Friday Night Light game next week. And that feels good to get to say that again, Friday Night Lights. We've had a couple of Thursday night games.
Yes, we have.
So we're back to our traditional feel for the week here.
Absolutely. So remember, once again, you can listen to the game on both our Facebook and YouTube page for KSR Sports Network, but you can watch the game through NFHS with a high-quality production and also our audio stream going over that production as well. But enough about that. We're going to get a chance now to hear from some of those fantastic sponsors who make these broadcasts possible. So we'll be back after a 2-minute timeout. You're listening to Richland Raider Football here on KSR Sports.
Fans, from the coin toss to the final quarter, stay refreshed with an ice-cold Coca-Cola as you cheer on the Raiders. Just head to the concession stand and grab the perfect refreshment to share with fellow fans. Share a Coke with a teammate, a rival, or a friend this season. Thank you for choosing Pulaski Coca-Cola. It's time to load up on the best snacks and some delicious ice-cold Coke for all your game day guests. Nothing tastes like everyone you love and everything you like coming together. Coca-Cola. Together, taste better.
May Oil Company, a 4th-generation family-owned business, is a supplier of fuel products and specialty lubricants serving Pulaski, Giles County, and southern Middle Tennessee from our offices and warehouse at 619 South 4th Street, Pulaski. May Oil Company is also a proud supporter of Giles County Bobcat and Richland Raider sports. May Oil Company, supporting our Middle Tennessee communities for generations. 931-363-3704.
This is Clay Doggett, your state representative for District 70, and I'm proud to share what makes Giles County such a special place to call home. From our rich history and strong values to our thriving local businesses and hardworking families, Giles County is built on community pride. We're blessed with beautiful farmland, vibrant small towns, and neighbors who always lend a helping hand. Whether it's gathering for local events, supporting our schools, or growing opportunities for the next generation, Giles County continues to be a shining example of Tennessee's best.
We've been cutting prices at Murray Chevrolet GMC. There are amazing red tag deals throughout our lot. Just look for the red hang tags and windows to find the very best deals in our inventory, like the Black Widow Edition Silverado 1500 RST with $12,000 off, or the 2025 Corvette E-Ray with over $14,000 in rebates. Many more great deals with thousands off on 2025 trucks. Swing through or visit our website, murraychevrolet.com, for all the info.
And good evening once again, everyone. I'm Mark Mize, she's Jennifer Hawkins, and you're listening to Richland Raider football here on the KSR Sports Network as well as the NFHS Network. And so great to be able to bring you this game both in audio format and on video format via that NFHS prescription. Wow, I'm good at this. Subscription here tonight. I might need a prescription.
It's a good thing you don't talk for a living, Mark. Oh, wait.
I do IT for a living, actually, but we still have a chance every Friday night to cover some of the best young athletes in the county. 9-2 Richland Raiders versus 9-2 South Fulton. It's the second round of the playoffs, Jennifer, and this is the third time in 4 years in which the Richland Raiders have hosted playoff games here at Wayne Hobbs.
Just the way we like it, Mark, is Friday Night Lights. You should find us out here watching our hometown team take on another good competition. So round 2 playoffs, let's just keep it moving forward.
Yeah.
And we've talked a lot about this Richland Raider team, something special about this group this year. A lot of seniors that they bring forward, 16 seniors as part of this team. So they have taken a lot of snaps together. They have had just great on-field chemistry and off-field. Every time we interview them, at least one of the interviewees brings up the word brotherhood.
Right.
And so they remember they are playing for each other. They're not worried about individual accolades. They're not worried about, who gets the best stats each week in, week out. That's something I've noticed, with teaching at the high school and going back in on Mondays after games. In years past, when I've called games, sometimes guys like, how many stats did I have? What was my rush? Well, they wanted their individual stats. These guys don't do that. They just want to talk about football. They just want to talk about what went well, and they do also mention about the things they've got to clean up, the things they've got to do better. So they're working cohesively as a team, and that's what's making them so successful this year.
And it all really has started this year with the defense. Of course, early in the year, the offense was kind of coming into its own. The last 6 straight weeks, they've really been phenomenal, scoring about 35 points per game. But when the offense was finding its footing, the defense was just truly electric early in the season. And by the way, want to mention, Richland at one point this year, after week 4, was 2-2 overall. 0-1 in region play. And where are they now? 9-2, and they were region champs. That's why they get to host up to 4 straight games in this playoffs. And so just the tenacity of this team to overcome early adversity and to be willing to put in the work to get to where they are now. Once again, which under Coach Nick Patterson, we've seen that 3 of the last 4 years. But back to the point about the defense, it all starts with this defensive line. I think there are 3 all-region guys on that defensive line and maybe a couple all-state guys there as well. Just unbelievable what they've done this year, how much pressure they can create without having to blitz multiple players from the linebackers, safeties, corners. I mean, just they've been phenomenal. And then you look at the other 2 units, the linebackers return a lot of talent. And then the defensive backs, which you return both of your starting corners, you lost both of your all-region safeties, one of those an all-state safety in Jaden Pryor, and yet you still are holding teams to only 12 points per game this year. Just unbelievable what they've been able to put together, Jennifer.
Yeah, tenacity. That's a great word, because you and we've kind of joked we're running out of adjectives to describe this defense because, and we have a pretty broad vocabulary. I don't know that we always say it the right way.
Right.
right way. But, it's just one of these, we're just kind of running out of words because we've described them in so many different ways. And it starts up front with that front defensive line. They're just a solid wall that, and it's going to be interesting because talking with some of the guys, got to actually have a few minutes of sit down with Tucker Mayo today. They're doing senior interviews for the early December graduates. And so they meet with community members and stuff like that, and so he was waiting on his interview as I came through the office today. So I just sat down and I said, let's talk a minute where you're not on camera, and because these guys get a little nervous and stuff. And I said, tell me a little bit about what you know about South Fulton. And what I've heard from all the guys based on their study, they're a rush offensive heavy team, And I said, well, they haven't run up against this defense, have they? And he said, no, ma'am. So it's going to be an interesting matchup with South Fulton. He said they'll try to throw in a few passes here and there. He said, but that's not really what they rely on, that they really try to go to that rush quite a bit. And I said, yeah, they might change their game plan as the night goes on, because we've seen it from a lot of teams. They try to rush up the middle. Nope, nothing working there. Then they try to beat out on the edge. They might be successful one or two times, and then suddenly adjustments are made by this defense, and that edge is shut down. And so I think it's going to be fun to see what this South Fulton team tries out, and also how the defense for Richland responds.
You're right, and I thought you made such a salient point on the Beyond the Box Score show earlier this week on our Main Street Media and Pulaski Citizen Live there, when you said that a lot of teams have come in with pretty strong rushing attacks, but not all of them have left with quite as strong rushing attacks. Because you think about Jonathan Jordan for Eagleville was a really, really talented runner. I think he averaged like almost 12 yards per game. 12 yards per play in that game. And yet they were able to kind of get them behind the chains, keep them from using that running attack by bottling up some of the other guys. Same thing with Zion Najee for Fayetteville City. I mean, it's not as if the Raiders haven't played a really tough schedule. They absolutely have. And think about non-region. They played Spring Hill, who, by the way, I think they're 4A now. I think they dropped to 4A. But Spring Hill, who went multiple rounds in the playoffs, by the way, for the first time in quite a while. Richland beat them here. White House Heritage, who was the 1 seed going to the playoffs and then got upset, admittedly. But Richland beat them here at Wayne Hobbs. And so, quite frankly, Richland played such a tough schedule. It set them up for success, not only in, the adversity that they overcame, but also the fact that if they had needed a tiebreaker, Richland was going to win all the tiebreakers because they had the best opposing schedule there. And so really, really impressed there. And on the other side, I don't know if any South Fulton people are listening, and we're going to go ahead and get the invocation and the national anthem. I'll be back with that point in just a minute, Jennifer, but we're going to take a 3-minute timeout, back in 3 minutes here on KSR Sports Network.
This is Mike Keith for Winterburn and Associates Insurance. Winterburn Insurance is a full-service insurance agency, meaning they can help you with virtually every kind of personal insurance. Keep them in mind for auto, home, life, and health. Winterburn and Associates Insurance has been serving Giles County and the surrounding area for nearly 70 years, so they truly are a trusted choice. Get a quote online at winterburninsurance.com or call 363-8638. Winterburn and Associates Insurance, proud members of the Insurers of Tennessee.
Hey, buddy, why the throwback uniform?
Well, boys, you see, it's to celebrate the glory days, the pride, the passion, the tradition.
Wow, what could be better than wearing a throwback uniform on game day?
How about throwing back a green and gold citrusy Sundrop soda in a throwback bottle while wearing my throwback uniform on game day?
The pride, the passion, the tradition.
Throwback a green and gold Sundrop today.
Employee Resources Credit Union is an easy solution to banking, offering a personal, simple, yet modern way to bank. When you bank with ERCU, you are a shareholder, meaning you own a piece of the pie. And we make it easy with the convenience of digital banking, with service you won't find at another financial institution, including low to zero fees and incredible rates. We have the technology you need with the personal service you deserve, right here in your own neighborhood. Employee Resources Credit Union, not for profit, for service.
We meet by accident, a play on words, but when you need us, we're there. Gerald's Auto Body and Gerald's Auto Repair is a trusted friend when you need auto repairs or auto body work. We specialize in making you feel at ease in a time that can be uncertain at best. We take the worry away and give you our very best. Gerald's Auto Body and Gerald's Auto Repair, a trusted friend when you need us. Call 363-0539 or drop by 716 North 1st Street, Pulaski.
This is Jill Kilburn with Big Green Dumpster. Whether you're cleaning out the garage or tackling a renovation, we've got you covered. We have 4 dumpster sizes, 11 to 30 yards. Order before 1 p.m. for same-day delivery. We offer demolition and junk removal. We offer a contractor's discount and include a direct text line for prompt service. Serving Middle Tennessee and North Alabama, our prices are online, so book now at bigggreendumpster.pro or call 931-903-2424. Big Green Dumpster.
First National Bank is an independent community bank. Being independent allows us to be innovative, to adapt and respond quickly and efficiently to your financial needs. We know the needs of this area. Our interest and our loyalty are to the people who live and work here. They are more than names and faces. They're our friends and our neighbors. Together, we're making communities great. Member FDIC.
And we're back once again here on the KSR Sports Network. I'm Mark Mize. She's Jennifer Hawkins, bringing you Richland Raider football as the Raiders playing here in the second round of the TSSAA Class 1A playoffs versus the South Fulton Red Devils. Both teams enter tonight's contest 9-2 on the season, but Jennifer, the point I was making there was Richland. You look at who they played this season in terms of a Wayne County team that was a 3 seed going into the playoffs. Spring Hill that went multiple rounds at a higher classification. White House Heritage, a 1 seed in a higher classification. And then, of course, Huntland, Eagleville, not Moore County as much as Fayetteville City there. Just really, really quality opponents there. Summertown, obviously, as well. You know, they had a great season. And you think about that. On the other side, like I said, I apologize to any South Fulton fans who are listening, but South Fulton only played 2 teams with winning records all year long. They played Dresden, admittedly Dresden, a top 5 team in the state, who beat them pretty bad, and they played Greenfield, who they beat 21-20. And so that's not to say that South Fulton doesn't have an impressive resume, but if you're really lining those two up, Richland, who had almost all of their teams finished above 500 this year, and South Fulton, that only played 2 teams all year that finished above 500 and had a 45-69 combined record for those opponents. That's not really as inspiring of a schedule to get to this point as Richland had.
That's what I was mentioned earlier. You know, on paper, 9-2, 9-2. That's what a lot of people look at as the records. But there's more to the story when you start to kind of pick apart the different teams. But again, that's why you come and meet up, and that's why you have these games. Is the excitement of what could happen, and you know, South Fulton. And I'm going to kind of commend their fans. That's a long way to travel, but they have a
171
pretty good,
miles to get here.
Yeah, one way. That's the first half of the trip, and so they've got a pretty good showing across the way. Didn't really know what they would be able to bring out. Yeah, good shout out to them for bringing fans this far. And then, again, like we said, having to pack it up and head back home after this is over with. But, yeah, it's like you mentioned, the Raiders have been tested this season. You know, Wayne County and Huntland games, I think, will wake up calls for the guys early on. And they're all able to mention that. They are all willing to admit to that maybe they got a little overconfident going into the season. They overlooked Wayne County a little bit. I think they went into Huntland feeling pretty self-assured. They haven't done that since then, and that is something, talking to the guys this week and in some of our interviews, is they don't want to ever get in that spot of overconfidence. You know, they know this is a one-and-done type situation, that if you lose, you're going home and that's it. And for these 16 seniors, that rings ever true for them, because they're not guaranteed tomorrow. So they've got to go out and fight this battle. But they've been in some battles this season already, so they do know how to stand up for each other and fight.
And remember, it is win or go home here in the playoffs. This isn't like basketball or the diamond sports where you potentially can lose and then, you know, you go to a loser's bracket and fight your way back through. In football, every single game is an elimination game from the first round until the first week of December at Finley Stadium, where you'll be playing if you go to that state championship in Chattanooga. So it looks like we have our captains for tonight for the Richland Raiders. It looks like it is going to be Levi Reedy, A.J. Bates, Shooter Foster, And I believe that's John Garrett, correct?
That's the 4 seniors leading out front. And good to see Levi Reedy suited back up tonight. So found out he was out for concussion protocol last week. So it wasn't the knee, which is a good sign, but he did miss. He took a hit in the Moore County game, actually, and had to kind of set the sidelines last week for a concussion protocol, but he has been totally cleared and ready to go tonight. Ready Reedy has been his nickname off and on this season and last season, and so these guys, you can sense their excitement as you talk to them about football this week. It feels different. They know it's playoff time, and so they're going to put their best foot forward, and they want to continue to play. Their goal is December 5th and being in that final round in that championship game.
And for South Fulton, your team captains are Charlie Mike Mulkey, and then also number 52, Joseph Matthias. Tremendous names there as well, too. So, honestly, they already are off to a good start in that department. For those who are watching and, are saying, oh, well, where's the video stream? So, real quick to explain this one more time before we get underway here. Because of the postseason rules, we're not allowed to put the video stream on our own channels, such as our Facebook and YouTube, where you might be listening now. However, the TSSAA and the NFHS Network agreed to let us put our audio and a beautiful video production here tonight from Will Pettis on the NFHS stream. And so if you are interested in paying that subscription to the NFHS Network, and which is partnered with the TSSAA, that is 100% up to you. But unfortunately, in the postseason, that is the only way to watch video stream. And so you have that option here tonight. There are 2 streams that you'll see under Richland. One is the standard one that goes through the camera that is always mounted here. The other is the one that includes 3 cameras, instant replay, just unbelievable production quality. And so if you're interested, then check that out. And once again, if not, then feel free to listen to us all night long. And you're going to hear from our great sponsors. We're still going to have all of our graphics, and so we appreciate you either way, but we didn't want anyone to think that we weren't video streaming for any reason other than the fact that unfortunately we can't on our local ones because of an exclusive rights deal. But that still doesn't mean we don't appreciate the TSSAA, the NFHS Network, and everything that's happening here tonight. It's just the reason that we find ourselves where we do. So I hope that was a good way of explaining it, Jennifer. Like I said, we have no hard feelings whatsoever. Exclusive rights are just part of sports. It's just that is the reason that the video stream will not be on KSR itself.
Well, we just wanted to clear up, too, that it wasn't like, oh, playoffs, well, we're done.
Yeah.
So we just wanted folks to know that, hey, we're still here. We're going to bring you as much Raider football as possible. We hope to continue this for the next several weeks until we get to that championship round. We'll be here with you. But it is feeling like Raider Nation time as the fans are starting to get to their feet. And again, we're in the middle of the crowd here, Mark, and so you're going to hear a lot of that cowbell action that you heard last week as the Raiders defeated Collinwood in a big win to get to this round 2 playoff game.
And here come the Raiders as Richland marches onto the field for the second round of the TSSAA Class A playoffs, as we're about to get underway in just a moment versus South Fulton. A pair of 9-2 teams, but only one will move to 10 wins and continue their postseason hopes here tonight. And so both teams heading out onto the field now as we will get things underway. A special shout out to all of our fantastic sponsors who make these broadcasts possible here on KSR Sports Network. You can see them scrolling on the bottom of the stream there. So thanks again to each and every one of those fine folks who invested in this chance for you to listen to, and if you're on the NFHS Network, watch some of the best and brightest young athletes in the county. Richland will be receiving the ball first to start here tonight. And Jennifer, even though they've traditionally been the defenders first, quite frankly, in recent weeks, it hasn't mattered. They've been dominant on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, I think they're so psyched up and amped up for this game that it doesn't really matter which side of the ball goes on the field first. They're ready to make a statement offensively and put the ball in the end zone, or defense is ready to come out and make a stand so the offense can get their hands on the ball. It's just going to be the offense's first turn tonight. So Raider Nation's in their home black jerseys with orange helmets and orange numbers. The South Fulton Red Devils visiting in red pants, white jerseys, red numbers. And those of you who listen to our show, I was a Red Devil growing up, so I'm feeling kind of at home with that team. But that's where it draws the line. You know, that was in the old days. So we're going to enjoy some game time now.
All right, and here is the opening kick. Deep. They're going to go ahead and let it roll into the end zone, and that will be the ball starting on the 20-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Richland Raiders.
All right, so we're going to get a good look at how Gavin Schrader settles in for tonight. The freshman quarterback has just improved and improved. Doesn't play like a freshman at all, Mark. We've had that mentioned many times this season and has just really settled into this offensive strategy, has let the game kind of slow down and come to him to see what options he has.
Shotgun formation to start out. We have a bunch of receivers and tight ends on the right side of the line. Going to be a handoff. I believe that is Colin Cagle breaks free the first tackle, and he's going to pick up about 7 yards on the play, but dirty laundry on the field. We'll see what the flag is.
We talked about, the Raiders. That's been one thing that they want to come away with is clean football, and right away, first play from offense is a hold.
Yeah, I believe one of the tackles there kind of may have gotten his hands on him and pulling that jersey, and so gain there, as you can see if you're reading via instant replay. I'll tell you, how great is it to have instant replay here? They're play right now.
Oh yeah, you get the replay on your side. You're cheating, Mark Mize. I saw Cagle pop up that he was blocking up front, I suppose, but you're gonna be one up on me even more than usual.
2nd and 16 for the Raiders. 11-11. Make a wish. Remaining in the first quarter as we're scoreless here. Pistol formation once again. They have an offset back in addition to Sands. Oh, looks like they're firing deep to Kennedy. They have Kennedy open at midfield. He catches it down to the 40-yard line. That's a Winterburn and Associates Insurance. First down, Raiders. Jennifer, how about them taking the top off the defense there?
Yeah, we talked about Schrader. Let's see what he opens up and feels comfortable with. And I like that they told him, let it fly if it's there. Kennedy using those wheels to beat out his defender. We have seen that multiple times this season as Kennedy is able to just fly by these guys and is looking back. Schrader lays the ball right in his arms and a huge gain, move of chains. First down again for the Raiders.
44-yard gain there on that play. Handoff Jake Sands, full head of steam. He reverses field. He's got a first down. Winterburn and Associates Insurance first down on the 13-yard carry. As you can see on the replay there, wow, just what a quick step there. Turns back to his left and gets the extra 3 yards for that first down. So Raiders now inside the opponent's 30-yard line at the 28. Still scoreless here, about 10 minutes remaining in the opening quarter. 1st and 10. Be a handoff to Sands. Sands around the right tackle. Sands tripped up, but picks up 5 yards on the carry.
Don't need them all at once, but a good first down run as he gets that edge out around the defenders, showing his speed. And no, folks, we've got good production quality, but that's just how fast Jake Sands runs, so he finds those open holes and is able to hit them at full speed.
One thing I love, too, is how quickly they're playing. A lot of times they play tempo, but they'll stop at the line and look to the sideline. Not doing that quite as much tonight. Pistol formation with the fullback. Offset, that's A.J. Bates, and your deep back, that's Jake Sands. Sands going to take the handoff, but there's going to be a flag. It's going to be blown dead prior to the play. It's going to be a false start offense. That'll set it back to a 2nd and 10. So watching the replay here. I didn't see it. Yeah, I was about to say our producer, Will, didn't see it either. And so 2nd and 10 for the Raiders now, but they were behind the chain, 2nd and 16. And what did they do? 44-yard gain there on the pass from Schrader to Kennedy. We'll see what they do here on 2nd and 10. Now we're back to the shotgun formation. I believe that's Bates. He's in there to block. Schrader rolls left. Schrader fires, has Sands cutting over the middle. He's got enough for another Winterburn and Associates Insurance first down, Raiders.
Well, you still want to clean up the penalty issue. They've already had 2 in this drive, but they are rebounding from that tremendously as both times been on the 2nd down play and then just pick up big gains to move the chains. So kind of negates those penalties.
down to about the 18-yard line where it'll be 1st and 10. So the Raiders on the opening possession of the night inside the red zone, 8:28 remaining in the opening quarter. 1st and 10. It's time going to be a handoff. I believe that is Colin Cagle. Cagle on the twin back set takes the carry and gets down to about the 10. It'll be 2nd and short.
Cagle, the junior running back, we see him on the defensive side as well. But, you know, he hasn't had as many rushing attacks in games past, but I think they're going to need all aspects of their game moving forward in the playoffs, and so they're just testing things out tonight, and Cagle showing early on why he is one of those options in that running back field.
And so it'll be 2nd and 2 for the Raiders. They have Sands motioning out wide. Going to be a handoff to the up back. That's Colin Cagle. Cagle at the goal line. Cagle fighting his way. And he's in. That's a First Realty Group touchdown, Raiders. What a play, what a run for Colin Cagle as he just fights his way, gets stopped at the 2, wrestles forward for the final 2 yards, and a First Realty Group touchdown here with 7:36 remaining in the first quarter.
So Raiders looking strong and consistent like we've seen this season.
Kick is up from Bates, and the kick is good. 7-0 Richland here in the second round of the Class A playoffs as they lead with 7:36 remaining in the first quarter. We'll be back after a 1-minute timeout here on KSR Sports Network.
At Haney Realty and Property Management, we strive to work with all of your real estate needs. Listing, buying, property management, or rental, we have got you covered. Call me, Daniel Haney, at 931-309-8291 or come by the office located at 109 South 1st Street in Pulaski, and one of our agents will be able to assist you. Our website is www.haneyrealtypm.com. Haney Realty and Property Management. We are your best friend in real estate.
For all your real estate, property management, and auction needs, contact Haney Realty Auction Company.
You know what? We're coming back after 30 seconds there to make sure we catch this kickoff, Jennifer, after that 10-yard rushing touchdown for Colin Cagle, brought to you by First Realty Group as the Richland Raiders lead 7-0 over South Fulton. Jennifer, we said it was important for them to make a statement. They got back behind the chains on 2nd and 16 after that holding call, but a 44-yard gain on the pass play from Schrader to Kennedy set them up in plus territory, and the rushing attack did the rest. This one they're going to kick down to about the 9-yard line. Nearly tripped up there is the South Fulton returner, and oh, he is met by a host of Raiders right around the 10-yard line where South Fulton will take over.
Yeah, worse luck for that young man as he tripped over some of the paint on the field, it looked like, but a little slippery as the weather's changing over. And he did not have any recovery time as we've got a Raider down on the field.
How about the pursuit there for the Raiders, though, and really for South Fulton? You let 7-8 guys get down there to take him down around the 10-yard line. As looks like we may have an injury timeout here. Hope for the best for that young man, but we'll go ahead and take a quick timeout. 7:30 remaining here in the opening quarter. It's 7-0 Richland as South Fulton prepares to take their first possession.
Attention Giles County residents, looking for your next career opportunity? Look no further than M&M Staffing, your trusted local staffing agency. Owner John Braden Harper and recruiters Cree Holt and Mercedes Houston are all proud members of Giles County who understand our community inside and out. At M&M Staffing, we're your neighbors supporting local schools, athletes, organizations, and causes that matter to you. Visit us on Facebook, step into our office, or apply online at mnmstaffing.net. You can also give us a call at 931-347-4255. M&M Staffing, your bridge to a brighter future in Giles County.
Natural gas safety tips brought to you by Pulaski Natural Gas. Call before you dig. Don't hit a buried gas line. Before you dig or move earth in any way, call your local one-call number or utility locator service. They can tell you the location of buried natural gas lines, power lines, and other utilities so you can dig safely. These tips are brought to you by Pulaski Natural Gas, 363-1752, 363-1752.
And we are back here once again. That was Caden Chapman, who was down with the injury there, but able to get some help off the field there. So hope for the best for that young man. But South Fulton will start now on about their own 11-yard line. Looks like it's going to be a pistol set here. Handoff. Oh, but I think that's a fumble. We'll see who has it. Raiders say they do. Waiting for the official call. But I believe this is going to be Raider football. Indeed, there it is. So Richland Raiders, one play on defense, and that's going to be a turnover. Richland will start in the opposing red zone.
We've talked about how as the season has progressed, winning the turnover battle, that's what you got to do week in, week out. Raiders have been successful in that, already putting a +1 up on the board. And not only that, Mark, short field to work with.
So RHS ball at, we'll call it the 12-yard line there. What a way to start a drive. Schrader in the shotgun. Snap was a little bit low, but they're going to give it off to, I believe that is Sands around the right side. Excuse me, that is Levi Reedy, the fullback, who is able to pick up, I'm going to say around 2, maybe 3 yards on the play.
Yeah, so offense was just on the side catching their breath and said, wait a minute, grab your helmets, guys. Defense has already put in the work. Defense going to, you know, they're taking it easy tonight. They're like, hey, we're in one play. You guys go get them again.
6:54 remaining here in the first quarter. It's 7-0 Richland. Going to be pistol formation. Sands is your deep back. Sands gets the handoff. Sands following his blocker. Sands hops into the end zone for a first Realty Group touchdown. And just like that, 6 minutes into this game, it is 13-0 Richland.
I tell you, we talked about making a statement early. Exclamation point beyond that statement as the Raider offense getting it done on the board, but the defense getting out and, you know, putting a hand in and stripping that ball and recovering.
Here's the kick from A.J. Bates. Kick is up. Kick is good. 14-0. Richland leads with 6:43 remaining in the first quarter after that first Realty Group touchdown from Jake Sands. And so Raiders on top here in the second round of the Class A playoffs. We'll be back after a 30-second timeout here on WKSR Sports Network.
When it comes to your family's health, you can count on Southern Tennessee Regional Health System Pulaski. We're focused on keeping you at your best with annual screenings and preventative care. Having a family doctor helps you stay healthy, so our Southern Tennessee Medical Group makes it easy to find one. Call 1-800-424-DOCS. That's 1-800-424-3627, or visit southerntmpulaski.com to find a primary care physician.
And welcome back in here. I'm Mark Mize. She's Jennifer Hawkins, bringing you Richland Raider football here on the KSR Sports Network. 14-0 Richland after the Raiders marched 80 yards down the field for a touchdown. And then the first defensive play of the night, they forced a fumble. They recovered it. And 2 plays later, it's 14-0. They're going to let that one roll into the end zone. So, Jennifer, we mentioned last week in the first half, the average starting field position for Collinwood was their own 19-yard line. So far tonight, the average starting field position through 2 drives for South Fulton is their own 15.
You're just improving every week.
Yeah.
In the education world, we call that growth, Mark, and you take it any way you can get it.
1st and 10 at their own 20. So South Fulton comes back out after a disastrous first play of the last drive. 1 play, 1 fumble recovered by the Richland Raiders. And so it looks like your deep back here is going to be Gavin Lovell alongside shotgun formation. It's going to be Lovell will get the ball, but he is stood up by John Garrett and several more Raiders. And that'll be a loss on the play.
Bates and Garrett, meets that Red Devil up front and says, not so fast. And we mentioned this in the pregame that South Fulton's known as a rush offense, but they also have not met this Raider defensive line.
6:20 remaining in the opening quarter, 2nd and 10. They'll actually go ahead and give him some credit and say his forward progress did get him back to the line of scrimmage. Ooh, but I think this one may be a false start on the play. Dead ball, false start for South Fulton. They continue to move backwards as we have the replay here if you're watching the NFHS network. Might have been illegal motion. Yeah, I'm going to venture it might have been illegal motion there. Regardless, that's one thing that's annoying about that signal
It's
is
the same,
false start
right,
and illegal
yeah.
motion are the
Yeah,
same signal
I would
there.
think it's that motion move, but regardless, it puts them behind the chains again. And, if you're a South Fulton fan, you got to be really upset right now. Just not a start that you wanted to the night at all.
So Charlie Mike Mulkey is your quarterback. Behind him is Gavin Lovell. Back to pass. Excuse me, I apologize there. I was wrong on the quarterback there. This is going to be a pass to the tight end. That was number 17, Jamison Barkley was your quarterback there. And tight end on the play, I believe, was number 19. Ooh, we don't have a 19 on our score.
Wait, I thought 17 was Grant Joyner. Wait, they got two 16s.
Grant Joyner. Yeah, that's odd.
And no 19.
Timeout South Fulton. Yeah. It's going to be third and about 8. Yeah, the roster we got this week, I'm not sure if it was correct there.
Well, as my kids remind me in class every day, numbers are hard, Miss Hawkins. So, it shouldn't be that hard, not in single A. You don't usually have repeat numbers.
That is tough. But regardless on the play, that's not going to be enough for a first down. So it'll be 3rd and 8 here. Timeout was called on the field. I want to give this moment to shout out all of our fantastic sponsors here on WKSR Sports Network who make these broadcasts possible. And Jennifer, next Friday, I feel like we're going to have a Richland Raider football game. But basketball starts as well for Richland. Giles County starts, I believe, next, I don't remember if it's Thursday or Friday, but next week we're already starting the high school regular season.
Yeah, and I believe the plan is, the schedule says the 21st, but if there's a playoff game for football, they will probably move that game to Saturday. Just so those basketball boys want to be at these playoff games and support each other.
Oh, yeah. Big moment here as it's 3rd and 8. Can they get off the field once again? Great rush there from the Raider defensive line. This one to the sideline, and it's tipped away. Was that Cam Drake?
Cam Drake with the great defense. He said, bring it on. Test me if you will. The only one he hasn't allowed to test him today has been Miss Hawkins. So he passes that one beautifully as he does. He comes in and reads it quite well.
What a great play there, because it was really a pretty good toss to the sideline, but Drake playing a little soft initially, but he's got the closing speed to come in there, bat that one down, and after that incomplete pass, that'll bring up 4th and 8, and looks like a punt formation for South Fulton here. They will indeed punt the ball as Richland leads 14-0 with 5:15 remaining in the quarter. Jake Sands thinks about it, but he's going to let that one roll down to the 25. Plays it safe, and Richland will have their 3rd possession in only 7 minutes, Jennifer.
I know, making quick work here is, you've had games where they'll get to halftime and have 3 possessions, but defense making such quick work, and then the short field on the last set of downs. And so I was laughing because I could hear some of the Raider faithful here. They wanted Sands to pick that up and just run it back. and why not? Let's see that we can score on special teams. But there is a flag on the field. Let's see what that's for. Here.
From that area of the field, it's actually hard to say. Looks like they're marching the Raiders back potentially here as Richland's taking a few steps back.
Especially on a ball that wasn't returned. What's going to be the call here?
Well, technically, they don't know in the moment as it rolls towards Sands that it's not going to be returned. So,
well, they probably expected Sands to scoop it up, but
because there were two penalties on the play. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know what that signal.
I missed the signal because I was looking the other way. But
well, they did this. Let me kind of do it for you. So they did this.
They're Superman.
Yeah, they did the Superman. Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, Richland now will be starting. I'm going to say that was a half the distance to the goal penalty, so it'll be at the 12-yard line now. But Raiders have their 3rd possession of the first quarter. They lead 14-0 here over South Fulton. As Jennifer asks, the illustrious Kelly Bratton.
He didn't know
either.
Do you
know? Former baseball coach, not football coach, unfortunately.
He told him to slide.
Going with the jumbo set now. It's going to be a handoff to Jake Sands. Oh, he's got a lead blocker there. It's Gavin Schrader. Sands to the sideline. He's still on his feet, out to the 50, pushed out of bounds, but that will be a Winterburn and Associates Insurance first down. How about the convoy of blockers you're seeing there on the instant replay if you're watching NFHS Sports Network? But my goodness, 3 guys out in front of him. Finally, Schrader makes the final block and gets him an extra 13 yards there. He's going to be down at the opponent's 48.
Yeah, big gain there by Sands following that convoy, but the lead trucker there was Gavin Schrader, not afraid to get his hands dirty. We noticed last week he had a few scampers and scrambles, so he's enjoying some of this contact.
So we're going to see the jumbo set once again, and this time it's big A.J. Bates. Bates can't be brought down, and he's out with a full head of steam down to the 20, the 10, the 5. He's tripped up, but just yards away from pay dirt there. That's another Winterburn and Associates Insurance first down. How about this rushing attack for the Raiders, Jennifer?
Yeah, South Fulton just has no answer for all the offensive weapons that the Raiders possess. Bates, that fullback, we've seen it all season. He takes hit after hit, and it just makes him stronger as he runs forward. Just gets a little tripped up. He's seeing pay dirt in front of him. Let him finish the job. I'd just kind of feed it back to him right here and let him get across that goal line.
So first, Sands with a 40-yard gain. Then Bates with a 43-yard gain, and it's first and goal on the 5-yard line. Richland up 14-0 with 4:15 remaining here in the first quarter. This one's going to be a pitch. That's Sands. He's going to throw it, though, and it's going to be a passing touchdown. Was that Levi Reedy?
I believe so, yeah. That's Reedy on the reception. Little trickeration there by the Raiders.
What a play there. So they pitch it to the wingback there. Sands starts toward the line, kind of pops up and has the little jump throw that, of course, Tim Tebow made famous, and finds his tight end, Levi Reedy, in the end zone for the touchdown. So Sands to Reedy, 4-6. And so Richland Raiders are going to go ahead and take a 20-0 lead with 4:07 remaining in the first quarter. Bates in for the extra point. Snap is down. Kick is up. Kick is good. 21-0. Richland leads it here as everything going the Raiders' way here in the first quarter of this round 2 matchup between Richland and South Fulton. We'll be back after a quick timeout. You're listening to Richland Raider football here on the KSR Sports Network.
First Realty Group has been serving Giles and Lawrence County and beyond for decades. We're first because we have the best selection of land, homes, and commercial properties to choose from. Our fair price promise means you can shop with peace of mind locally and with customer care not found elsewhere. We also understand the buying process and what it takes to make it easy, from title to escrow to closing. First Realty Group. First for a reason. Visit frg1.com for all of your buying needs in Giles County.
And we're back here on the KSR Sports Network. I'm Mark Mize. She's Jennifer Hawkins. Richland Raiders have taken full control of this one in the first quarter. 21-0 here. Oh, but a skip ball to the deep returner, and he gets out to the 35-yard line. So best starting field position of the night for South Fulton. But Jennifer, Raider offense has marched right down the field 3 times. The defense, 2 big stops so far. I mean, could you imagine a more perfect start if you're a Raider fan?
Yeah, I think that that bit of run back, he found that seam. It's probably been the best play that South Fulton has had tonight, and it comes on special teams, because offensively, defensively, they don't have an answer for either side matching up against the Raiders.
I mean, it looks like Richland is playing versus Moore County, not a 9-2 second round of the playoff team here in South Fulton. Pistol formation. It's going to be a handoff to the deep back. That's Lovell. Lovell finds a little space to run here. Picks up 8 yards on the carry. Lovell, kind of a little scat back type, as he's a little undersized, but does a really good job following his blockers there. He's quick, just small enough to kind of hide behind that offensive line, and he's had a couple good runs tonight. But the Raiders up by 21 here in the waning minutes of the first quarter. Lovell will get this one again. Lovell, another really good cut, and he's going to have a first down across the 50.
Foster and then Cagle, and I believe Tarpley in on the stop. But Foster with that first contact. And, yeah, Lovell's finding a little something to work here for the Devils. And like you said, he kind of hides out. He's you don't see him until he's right on you.
And off to Lovell. It worked twice. Why not try a third time? And it works a third time. That's another first down to the 29. Jennifer, I mean, really a surprising turn of events here after the Raiders just defensively absolutely just were able to overcome, to swarm this offensive line for South Fulton. The first two drives, suddenly Lovell has had 3 straight first down runs.
Yeah, he's finding some nice little lanes, and the offensive line up front for South Fulton has found something that's working so far. Let's see if they go back to it.
1st and 10 at the opponent's 28. This time it looks like it's going to be a design quarterback carry there. And around the left side is Mulkey, who doesn't pick up a first down but gets about 6 yards on the carry, out of bounds to the sideline.
Pushed out by Foster and Cagle. I believe Griggs in on that as well, as he came around that edge side to the left. But yeah, Lovell has been there, a little bit of spark.
Yeah. It's interesting that they've had a couple different guys line up at quarterback. Back to Mulkey again. Mulkey, shotgun formation. Mulkey, a counter play here. Left side. It's going to be just shy on first. We'll see. It looks like it was just shy initially, but we'll see where it is there. And that was actually, I believe, number 12, Ian Lawrence, the sophomore, gets his first carry of the night.
Takedown once again by Foster.
They're going to say it was just short, 3rd and 1.
Raider faithful doing their part to energize this 3rd down.
Back in once again, runs right into the line. Looks like it's going to be just enough. They turn him back, but I think forward progress is going to give them enough for a first down there on the handoff to Lawrence. Fans don't like it, but I think that's the right call there. Is he really did have a really good initial push, and then about 5 Raiders said, not so fast, and forced him about 3 yards back, so it looked a little bit worse than it was.
Yeah, I think fans forget that it's where you get to, not where you end up.
Right.
And so it was just enough to get those chains moved.
It'll be 1st and 10 on the 17-yard line, but suddenly the rushing attack, which of course is what you'd mentioned the Richland players were talking about coming into this matchup, has gotten something going for South Fulton. Unfortunately for the Red Devils, they're down 21-0 with 1:29 remaining in the first quarter. Feels like this is something they needed 2 drives ago.
Yeah, they're going to have to figure out how to dig themselves out of the hole if they want to make this a game at all, because so far, you know, even if they were able to put up a few points here, they don't have any way to stop the Richland offense as well. And the Raider defense has been good at adjusting when there's been little seam routes and you know, things up the middle that teams have run against them. But they tend to step in and fill those gaps pretty quickly and make a stand. We've seen them week after week, you know, have teams start marching down the field, and then they just suddenly stand solid and turn them away.
So it's going to be 1:29 remaining in the first quarter after that timeout for South Fulton. Or may have been for Richland, actually. My apologies. Going to be this time pistol formation, and we have Joyner back in at quarterback now. They swapped back up again. It was Mulkey a play ago. This time it's going to be Lovell. Lovell, though, stopped right at the line. May have picked 1, maybe 2 yards on the play.
We'll see how gracious they are with the spot.
That is interesting that we've seen 2 or 3 different teams this year, ostensibly good teams that were going to go multiple rounds into the playoffs, run 2 quarterback systems.
Yeah, I know, which is interesting at the high school level, more interesting at the single A level.
Yeah.
But, you know, I mean, I guess if you got 2 guys that you can kind of option with,
2nd and 10.
Try it.
That's going to be pistol formation once again. Big rush here for the Raiders. They're chasing down Joyner. Joyner to the sideline. Joyner is sacked for a 3-yard loss on the play. It'll be 3rd and 13.
Tucker Mayo comes in from the backside and reaches out. And there's a Raider sack on the night for the defense.
Check out Mayo there. If you're watching the instant replay on NFHS, and they're actually going to say it was about a 5-yard loss. Dives, gets his ankles there. That'll make it 3rd and 15. What a play there for Mayo. So it's getting loud here. It's going to be a screen play to the right side and only picks up about 5, maybe 6 yards on the play. And suddenly, Jennifer, interesting note, down 21-0 at this part of the field. I think you're thinking touchdown rather than field goal. So will they go for it on 4th down?
I mean, I think if you're South Fulton, you kind of have to, because, you know, you're down quite a bit already. I know it's just first quarter, but 12 seconds left. But you got to try to do something to energize your team. Of course, Richland, they're going to have a little something to say about that on that defensive side.
Yeah. So this is the biggest play of the night so far, most likely 4th and 8. Joyner, pistol formation, 3 receivers to the far side, but a flag is down. I believe that's a delay of game.
Yeah, 0 showing on the play clock, and so that is already 4th and enough, and so that's going to march them back. Well, I mean, it wasn't 4th and inches, so they had a big gain to try to move those chains.
Those are
now
the
you can tack on
kinds
5
of mental lapses you just cannot have. 4th and 13 now for South Fulton. As the Richland Raiders lead this one 21-0 with 12 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Can the Raiders come up with their 3rd stop of the night? Calling out the coverage here is Joyner. Joyner back to pass, fires a quick out, but this is going to be tackled short of the line to gain. That's going to be a turnover on downs.
Hudson Griggs and Colin Cagle in on the tackle.
So they went to the halfback there who slipped out of the backfield. He gets the kind of, not quite a screenplay there, is almost a little bit of a wheel route. And he ends up picking up about 10 or 11, but he needed 13, Jennifer.
Yeah, how big is that penalty, Marcus? I got so excited I dropped my pencil all the way to the ground. So
great news for you.
We have more.
There's another.
Mark Mize always has my back. Thanks, Mark. What makes us a good team up here?
Yeah. It's going to be around the 13-yard line, I believe, there for the Raiders as they take over. And we're going to see the jumbo package again. That's a triple option set out of the wishbone. This time, as that was actually tough to see there. Sands was able to get right to the line to gain, but there's a flag down on the field. They're going to call a chop block against the Raiders, so that 9-yard gain is all for naught. Going to put them back. We saw them do this once before, Jennifer, and what happened? Yep. We saw it. I'll tell you, you know who loves the instant replay the most? PA announcer Kelly Brad.
Yes, yeah. So I started saying, he's helping us out. He said, you know what, you were asking me what happened, and he said chop block. So
yeah.
Are you talking about after the last chop block?
No. I'm sorry. So I think everyone misunderstood me there. I said last time they got behind the yard to gain there.
Oh, yes, and that was the big.
It was 2nd and 16, and they hit a 44-yard pass. I was asking that rhetorically. But that's the end of the first quarter. We'll be back after a 1-minute timeout. 21-0. Richland leads this one here over South Fulton. Raiders have the football back in 1 minute here on KSR Sports.
Fans, from the coin toss to the final quarter, stay refreshed with an ice-cold Coca-Cola as you cheer on the Raiders. Just head to the concession stand and grab the perfect refreshment to share with fellow fans. Share a Coke with a teammate, a rival, or a friend this season. Thank you for choosing Pulaski Coca-Cola. It's time to load up on the best snacks and some delicious ice-cold Coke for all your game day guests. Nothing tastes like everyone you love and everything you like coming together. Coca-Cola. Together, taste better.
May Oil Company, a 4th-generation family-owned business, is a supplier of fuel products and specialty lubricants serving Pulaski, Giles County, and southern Middle Tennessee from our offices and warehouse at 619 South 4th Street, Pulaski. May Oil Company is also a proud supporter of Giles County Bobcat and Richland Raiders sports. May Oil Company, supporting our Middle Tennessee communities for generations. 931-363-3704.
And we're back here, folks. I'm Mark Mize. She's Jennifer Hawkins. I am currently trying to remember how JP taught me to add it to the second quarter rather than the first quarter. It is the start of the second quarter. I'm going to get that here in just a second for you, but didn't want to confuse anyone there.
Yeah, I hope they'll figure out that,
All right, I think I got it. I think I got
we're
it.
into
It's this one.
it, yeah. Look at
Yes.
you.
Second
Mark Mize
quarter.
for the win.
21-0. Richland has the ball on their own, call it the 7-yard line after that chop block penalty there. And so it's going to once again this time be, it's a double handoff there, Sands, and then now it's Colin Cagle, and Cagle out in the open field. And what a quick turn of events there. They had 1st and 17, but now they have a Winterburn and Associates Insurance first down on the double handoff.
Yeah, Cagle finishes out that lane and then picks up with his speed. And I like how he just changed the position of the ball, puts it on that outside arm.
There is a flag down at the 24-yard line, though, so may have spoken too soon there. That looks like it's going to be from the spot foul. Oh, personal foul against South Fulton.
Okay.
So, wow,
Not
we'll
sure
watch
what
the instant
happened,
replay
yes,
here, and we'll see if we can see what that
you
was.
will. Our Facebook family and YouTube folks and Jennifer that's further away, we'll have to watch it later. It might have been after the play.
Yeah, I think it was behind what we saw there. I think there may have been like a blindside hit there. But regardless, Raiders get some extra yardage there. 1st and 10 at the opponent's 42. By the way, wanted to mention for those who are on Facebook or YouTube, because of the exclusive rights rule with the NFHS network, the video stream can only be on NFHS. And so that is why you're not seeing it where you normally would. But we still do have audio. We still have Levi Reedy on the counter play. Gets down to the 34-yard line, and a helmet goes flying for an offensive lineman of Richland. But nice carry there for Levi Reedy.
Yeah, his journey quickly comes in. Miles Fernandez. Miles of Smiles. That's his nickname at school. Well, just from Miss Hawkins. But he's always smiling. Great kid. But, yeah, that helmet goes off, so he's got to come out, and he's making the adjustment so he can get back in. But, not missing a step. That's the thing about the Raiders we've talked about all season is they've got a good option of guys that they can kind of switch in, switch out as needed.
Shotgun formation. By the way, if you're watching on NFHS, you had a chance to see a quick look in there on the Lawrence County game as they play at Knoxville Halls. They are down 21-7. This one's going to be a pass to the up back there. That is tight end Brooks Bratton. He's been a consistent first down machine the last few weeks out of that tight end position.
I know, didn't get a lot of looks early in the season, but has really come on strong out of that tight end spot and has showed his sure hands when they need him. And sure enough, moves changed yet again for the Raiders. 1st
and 10 at the opponent's 29-yard line for the Richland Raiders, who have taken full control of this ball game. 10:52 remaining in the second quarter. It is 21-0 Richland. And Raiders are driving again. They haven't been stopped yet tonight, Jennifer.
Not so far. I mean, about the only thing that might stop them going forward is halftime.
They're about to run out of time here for a delay of game, though, and there goes the penalty flag. You could hear the fans yelling, go. Unfortunately, that will be a 5-yard penalty unless they gave them credit for a timeout. I don't believe they did. Excuse me, they are going to wave it off and say that Richland did get the timeout off in time. So great job by the coaching staff to have the heads up and notice, oh, we don't want to lose those 5 yards. So looking back tonight, so far today, we had the Richland Raiders up 21-0 here early in the second quarter. It all started with an 80-yard touchdown drive, ending with Colin Cagle's 10-yard touchdown run to make it 7-0 with 7:36 remaining in the opening quarter. Then a fumble on the opening play of South Fulton's first drive led to Richland getting the ball back at their opponent's 12. 2 plays later, Jake Sands rushed into the end zone for a 9-yard touchdown. 3 and out gave Richland the ball once again. Big night for the defense here in the first half. And then Jake Sands throws a 5-yard touchdown pass on the trick play. He gets the pitch from the wingback position and fires to tight end Levi Reedy for a 5-yard touchdown. And then finally, South Fulton got down into the opponent's red zone, but the Raiders turned them back. And on 4th and 13, they only picked up 10 yards. As it was turnover and downs, and the Raiders trying to drive for their 4th touchdown of the night. Schrader, he's going to fire. End zone, going to be a tough pass, but he makes it. Oh, they're going to say incomplete pass as that one came free there. Was that Hudson Griggs?
Yes, it was. And, man, he's going to be reliving that one a little later tonight. We've seen some great catches by Griggs this season. Had a couple big picks the last couple weeks.
Flag on the play as well there, but looking at that replay, Griggs, how about the job there to go full extension, but just could not hold on there as the ball rolls out as he hits the ground. Also, that wouldn't have not mattered because another chop block is called against the Raiders. You know, sometimes certain referee crews have certain penalties they kind of get set to call over the course of a night. We haven't seen any chop blocks this year. I've already seen 2 in the first half here, Jennifer.
Yeah, it's one of those that you have to stop and think, like, even how it works. And as you know, one guy has a player locked up and another one comes and makes the tackle is what chop block is involved with. But, yeah, it's interesting how you have a rarity on that, and then 2 of them tonight.
1st and 25 at the opponent's 44. Tough position to be in here. They're going to hand off to the fullback, though, and A.J. Bates says, let me get a chunk of those yards back, as he picks up about 14 yards on the carry. What a night for the Raiders so far, and they're actually going to say he did get all of it back. It'll be 2nd and 10 after it was just 1st and 25. Jennifer running the ball, passing the ball, the defensive effort. I mean, I genuinely don't know that we've seen a better game when you count the quality of opponent all season for the Raiders.
I'm going to think like a coach for a second, though, and they're going to say, we got to clean up those penalties, though.
Yeah, 2nd and 10, Schrader. It looks like it's going to be a design screenplay here. Colin Cagle. Cagle, he's got a little room to run. Cagle breaks through the first tackle. Cagle still on his feet, fighting forward, and he'll get down to the 8-yard line on a Winterburn and Associates Insurance first down, Raiders.
And I tell you, Cagle was fighting for those yards, too, because he got hit, was a little off balance, but, you know, kept his composure, kept his feet under him, and you talk about keeping your knees forward on that run, and he was able to pick up a lot of extra yards, and Raiders back in business again.
20-yard gain on the play. It'll be 1st and goal from the 9-yard line. 9:47 and counting remaining in the second quarter, and Richland looking to go up 28-0. Jennifer, I would have never guessed we'd be thinking about a running clock in the second half. We might be thinking about just that. Jake Sands, Jake Sands, he is tripped up by the last man there, but a nice cut and picks up 3 yards on the gain.
Yeah, so Sands just upended a little bit, and guys are motioning to the sideline. Okay, they're just making a change out. Yeah, I was making sure nobody was down on the field, but yeah, Sands, he saw pay dirt in front of him, but was able to pick up a few.
2nd and goal at the 7 is where they'll mark it. Pistol formation here. You have your offset back, Levi Reedy, deep back, Jake Sands, handoff, Sands, off tackle, Sands, end zone. That's a First Realty Group touchdown. Penalty flag comes up late, but I believe that will be a personal foul after the play for unsportsmanlike conduct. But that touchdown brought to you by First Realty Group, I believe that's going to stand, Jennifer.
Well, they have to. The lights have flashed. The fireworks have gone off. It's got to stay on the board, Mark.
Hey, those fireworks cost money, Jennifer.
That's right. That's right. You can't redo them, so the fireworks have spoken.
So it's going to be a personal foul, but who will it be against? So touchdown is good. Penalty is against the Raiders. I'm going to venture might be in the area you would associate with taunting. So that will be assessed from the kickoff. But the Raiders are up now after I remember to add the touchdown. My bad. Wanted to check on that penalty. So touchdown and +6. Raiders up 27-0 with 8:48 remaining in the second quarter. Unbelievable night of football in the first half here for the Raiders, as they're booking that unsportsmanlike call. So Bates will have to wait a moment longer for his extra point, which, by the way, he's been skying those extra points here tonight.
I sort of say he really has. And
easily 40 feet
You can watch his shoulders leaning. He's ready to go. He's like, come on, let's do this.
He says, I have more people to sack, more touchdowns to run as a fullback, and I'm also kicking off. So, I mean, I got places to be, guys.
Well, you know Bates' mantra, run fast, hit hard. So that's what he wants to get back to.
All right, so they will now allow for the extra point. The kick is up. Ooh, this one didn't strike that one quite as well, but did not matter. Kick is up. Kick is good. It is 28-0 Raiders over South Fulton here with 8:48 remaining in the second quarter. We'll be back after a quick timeout. You're listening to Richland Raider football here on KSR Sports Network.
This is Clay Doggett, your state representative for District 70, and I'm proud to share what makes Giles County such a special place to call home. From our rich history and strong values to our thriving local businesses and hardworking families, Giles County is built on community pride. We're blessed with beautiful farmland, vibrant small towns, and neighbors who always lend a helping hand. Whether it's gathering for local events, supporting our schools, or growing opportunities for the next generation, Giles County continues to be a shining example of Tennessee's best.
And we're back here once again. I'm Mark Mize. She's Jennifer Hawkins. And the Richland Raiders up 28-0 with 8:48 remaining in the second quarter. Richland, 3 defensive stops, 4 offensive touchdowns. They're leading the turnover battle 1-0. And if there's something that could have gone the Raiders' way tonight, quite frankly, it has, Jennifer.
Yeah, I don't know what we truly expected because, like we said, we didn't know a lot about South Fulton outside of what was on paper. But, I mean, just sheer dominance by the Raiders tonight on both sides of the ball. And South Fulton, you know, they made a little bit of a scare in the last set of downs that they had, but Raiders stood tall and was able to get a turnover on downs on that 4th.
By the way, we just heard, ooh, this is an impromptu onside kick. Raiders might have a chance to get it here. I think they did. Raiders say they have it. They're fighting at the bottom of the pile. Raiders have it. Onside kick up 28-0. My goodness, what a call.
DeMarcus Chrisman, my Sooner buddy, getting the recovery under that pile. And, yeah, if you'd had that on your bingo card up 28 points with an onside kick, not sure I'd have had it, but.
Raiders putting the rest of the state on notice. We're about to mention the fact that McKenzie is up 28-6 on Greenfield. That would be who would be coming to Wayne Hobbs next week. Assuming a Raider victory, but I think we can assume that at this point, up 28-0 with the football in the first half. But my goodness, shotgun formation, Gavin Schrader. Second best starting field position of the night for the Raiders. Schrader, play action. He's looking for Kennedy. He's going to fire for, the up man, and that's actually going to be intercepted. So not the throw you want there on that play. I actually don't know if he was going for Griggs or Kennedy, but regardless, that's going to be an interception, and South Fulton will get the ball back.
Yeah, it's one of those, it's a timing route. So was there a little miscommunication on, Schrader saw it. You can see him talking about it on the sideline, discussing it with basically your quarterback coach, Blaine Woodard, who has just such a great football knowledge, and has been sharing his expertise with the young Schrader. But they're trying to kind of iron that out. Maybe, that's your only little misstep we've seen out of the Raiders tonight. 1st and 10 at their own 35-yard line. There might have been a wet football, too. You think about condensation. True.
This one is going to be a potential trick play here. In fact, it is. Mulkey is firing, but Cam Drake is right there. Drake, I thought he had that interception. He did not, but, man, what a play there. He lined up perfectly for it, jumped as if he was a center fielder in baseball. He's actually a catcher in baseball.
Yes.
And nearly picked off the pass, but he'll get his second pass breakup of the night, 2nd and 10.
Well, then I thought Foster was going to maybe dive just under it, but was not able to come up with it either. But good defense either way by Drake. He's had a couple of those plays tonight where he's broken up passes that could have been costly on the Raiders.
I have a bad habit of getting excited and not describing a play well. So that was a backwards pass there from Joyner, one of the quarterbacks, to Mulkey, the other quarterback. But really, Raiders, they knew immediately. Fumble on the play. That's going to be Raider football as they now lead the turnover battle 2-1. And wow, just stripped it, and Raiders fall right on it. They'll have the football in opponent's territory.
Was that Mayo that came up with that?
We'll see. I'm watching the instant replay
Bates?
now. It was not Mayo. That was.
Or it was Bates, possibly.
I don't think it was either. I think it was one of your deep men there.
Well, you got the eyes.
I think it was one of the two safeties. I don't think it was Cagle, so it could have been Tarpley.
Not exactly sure. They were all jumping up and
watch
down,
with me
so
real
I
quick.
Can't see that
It was a safety who came up with that. I apologize if I don't have who it was, but because of where it was on the football field, it really has to be either Griggs or Tarpley there. But regardless, Raiders have the football, and they'll have it at their opponent's 42. We hand off to Sands. Excuse me, Reedy up the middle. Reedy, sizable chunk of yards there, an 8-yard gain.
Watching the South Fulton guys, they look dejected.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, because they cannot get anything to go right, but you've got to credit this Raider team. I mean, they're just not letting anything happen for South Fulton.
Looking at the live look-in, Lawrence County is driving. They are trailing 28-7 to Knoxville Halls, as they had probably the biggest upset in the state of Tennessee last week. But now having some trouble on the road. They are driving down by 21. So a chance to get that one closer there. And off to the fullback, Bates. Bates sheds one tackler, sheds a second tackler, fights forward down inside the 20-yard line. That'll be a Winterburn and Associates Insurance first down, Raiders. And Jennifer, the two fullbacks, getting all the yardage on this drive. And quite frankly, why not?
Yeah, those jumbo guys doing the work right up the middle. They're not scared. They don't need to make the edge corners, anything like that. They like that contact. And both of them just putting in the work. And then we keep mentioning this offense, they've got just too many options to pull from.
So Raiders, 6:55 remaining in the second quarter, 28-0. Richland leads this pistol formation. Sands, your deep back. They're going to motion your tight end, Bates. Play action, Schrader. He scrambled a couple times last week. He'll actually pitch this one to Sands. They're going to actually throw a flag in the end zone there as Sands, about a 9-yard gain, but this one, I'm not sure what this call is going to be, Jennifer.
Yeah, when the play looked a little bit busted,
holding.
And so everybody starts scrambling, and holding makes sense on a play like that because you're timed out, and these guys can only kind of push back for so long, and so sometimes it will turn into a hold.
Yeah, I think it was holding downfield on the play.
Yeah.
So we'll see him watching this instant replay right now, which you can catch on the KSR Sports Network there. As I think it was the one out of screen there on the left side. I'm not sure. Regardless, that's going to make it 1st and 12, as that was a spot foul. Jennifer, it looks like you're looking at some scores. What are those scores?
Well, you already mentioned McKenzie's now up 35-6 on Greenfield, and Fayetteville, Dresden, 14-15. Dresden with the 1-point lead, so that's an interesting
Very
matchup.
impressive from City there.
Yeah.
Shotgun formation. Schrader looks like he's looking for Griggs initially. Now he'll fire. Has a man in zone. Sands. Touchdown. Raiders. A 20-yard passing connection from Gavin Schrader to Jake Sands. And that'll be a first Realty Group touchdown for the Raiders.
Holding against the Raiders again as
now
another
I got to
flag.
take the points off. Hate to see it. I will say I got my points off the scoreboard before the official scoreboard did, so,
That's a point for Mark Mize.
kind of rounding into midseason form here. Yeah, well, I'm watching the replay here, trying to see what the call is.
you could call a hold on every play, and that's what
I didn't see it, but that doesn't mean. Of note, just because Mark Mize didn't see it doesn't mean it didn't happen. But I didn't catch it there. Timeout Raiders on the play. I want to take this chance to thank all of our fantastic sponsors once again who make these broadcasts possible here on KSR Sports Network. You can see them scrolling down at the bottom of your screen. Another quick note for those of you who are listening on our Facebook or YouTube page, due to the exclusive rights of the NFHS network, we are not allowed to video stream on our own, channels. But they were kind enough to let us stream on the NFHS network. And so if you are subscribed to NFHS, then you can catch our audio and the absolutely pristine production of Will here, who is just doing a tremendous job here. Actually, a Summertown parent who we've got to know, and wow, Nick Patterson contacted him about it. I was about to say they're friends, and I'll tell you, this is the best production I have ever been a part of. So huge shout out there to Will, who has done a fantastic job here. So this is going to make it 1st and 22 now after double holding. So 1st and 22, Schrader shotgun. Schrader, it's a handoff to Cagle. Cagle breaks free. Cagle is going to outrun them to the end zone. He says, give me 10 more yards, Jennifer. That's a First Realty Group touchdown, Raiders.
Well, you know, we always try to turn a negative into a positive, and that's what we've said. Everybody's scanning for flags right now. We see none, and so I think we're safe to say those points are going to stay on the board this time. And so the positive out of that is, yeah, they just get more yards in their stats.
And that's what you really want at the end of the night, just
that's
more stats.
Exactly. Why not?
That's what the kids like. And so that's going to go down as a 30-yard rushing touchdown for Colin Cagle. What a job there by Cagle. Kick is up. Kick is good. That's going to be 35-0 Raiders, as the Richland Raiders having a truly historic night here in the second round of the TSSAA playoffs. They lead 35-0 with 6:04 remaining in the second quarter. We'll be back after a 30-second timeout here on KSR Sports Network.
We've been cutting prices at Murray Chevrolet GMC. There are amazing red tag deals throughout our lot. Just look for the red hang tags and windows to find the very best deals in our inventory, like the Black Widow Edition Silverado 1500 RST with $12,000 off, or the 2025 Corvette E-Reg with over $14,000 in rebates. Many more great deals with thousands off on 2025 trucks. Swing through or visit our website, murraychevrolet.com, for all the info.
All smiles in the fans in the stands here tonight for at least half of those in attendance, as the Richland Raiders are leading 35-0 over South Fulton with 6:04 remaining in the second quarter. Once again, this is the second round of the TSSAA Class A playoffs, as one of these two teams is going to go home and see their season come to an end. The other team is going to advance to 10-2 on the year. And quite frankly, I think everyone in this house knows who that is going to be. The Bates kick goes into the end zone for a touchback. South Fulton ball at their own 20.
Another quick scoring update for those of you listening in Giles County, who's home tonight as well, taking on McMinn Central. They lead 20-0.
Suspected that.
In the second quarter.
People asked me this week, Jennifer. I get asked all week long, whether it's at the bank, whether it's, whenever people see me around, they say, do you think Richland and Giles County are going to win this week? And I always feel bad because you never want a prognosticator out of an announcer. But I'll tell you what I told him. I said, I think next week Giles County will be playing at Tyner Academy, and next week Richland will be hosting McKenzie. So we'll see if by the end of the night I'm right about both of those things. Joyner is back in at shotgun. He motions his man out wide, then hands it off to, I believe, his fullback, who's going to get his first carry of the night. Doesn't matter, though, as it's going to be a no gain on the play.
Yeah, makes his way back just to the line of scrimmage. I tell you, the chain gang on the other side, I'm kind of watching them as well, and they're kind of taking it easy when South Fulton has the ball. They're not having to do a whole lot.
You know what's interesting, though? This reminds me of the Moore County game in the sense that there was one incredible offensive drive for the opponent in the first half, and every other drive, just nothing going. So it's so strange that they string together a 60-yard drive, but then every other drive, it's just been basically 3 and out. Pistol formation for Joyner. He's back to pass. He's going to fire to the sideline here. Ooh, that one just a little bit over the head of the intended receiver. That was Carson Choate, who going to be his first target here tonight. Incomplete. Excuse me, second target. I remember him from the first quarter. It'll make it 3rd and 10.
And so, like mentioned earlier, you know, usually South Fulton more of a rush-heavy offense and throws in just a few passes here and there, trying to go to the pass game a little bit more because the rushing attack is not working against the front line of the Richland defense.
So Raiders and Bobcats in action tonight, both looking to advance to the quarterfinals. As Raiders showing some initial pressure. We'll see there's a flag down. That's going to be delay of game for the second time tonight for South Fulton. Makes it 3rd and 15. But Jennifer, I'm not sure that Giles County and Richland have ever both been to the quarterfinals in the same season. If so, it was the 1980s.
Yeah, I sort of say that'd be an interesting stat to kind of research out this week, as both teams, you know, looking pretty comfortable in their matchups so far. So we assume you're going to have more Friday Night Lights next week for both teams.
3rd and 15. Joyner back to pass. He's being chased down hard by the defensive line. He's going to scramble here, has some room to run, but actually is going to make what we'll call a business decision and slides down short of the line to gain. That's going to make it 4th and about 9.
I liked your pun that you didn't even realize you had there, as you said he was chased down by the defense, because Mr. Chase Thomason on the pursuit.
I get it, because you don't want to take too many hits as a quarterback, but I mean, at the same time, you know, you're deep in your own territory. You're down 35-0 with 4:40 remaining in the second quarter. I think those are ones where you have to try to pick up that yardage there. You can't slide down before you get to the first down marker. 4th and 8. Looks like it's a punting situation for South Fulton. Chase Thomason nearly had his second block punt of the year. Jake Sands is going to motion everyone away, say, Peter, Peter, and let this one roll down around the 25-yard line where the Raiders will take over. Raiders have scored on all but one of their offensive possessions here tonight. And the one time they didn't, they got a fumble recovery and were right down the field and scored again.
Yeah, the defense said, excuse us, that's our ball. You know, so
how dare you?
Yeah, I don't know what you're thinking.
RHS ball. It's going to be one of their worst starting field positions of the night, but they still have 4:13 remaining here in this second quarter, up 35-0. If it goes into half with this score, we're going to see a running clock to start the second half. 1st and 10 at their own 24. Shotgun formation, they have Bates in as the fullback. A lot of time when he's in, he's going to do one of two things. He's either going to block for a play action, or he's going to pick up 15 yards with a rumbling play here. He does run the ball here, runs over a defender, and gets down to about the 30, maybe the 31-yard line.
Yeah, Bates and Reedy coming out of that backfield in that fullback position, you know, they pick up those hard yards. Not that Sands and Cagle, you know, Mayo sometimes we see there don't have the hard yards, but they kind of get into the open field a little more, whereas Reedy and Bates coming up the center, they're taking contact from the beginning.
But Bates and Reedy have both been averaging about 8 to 10 yards per touch tonight. So when the fullbacks are getting 8 yards, then you know that probably not the situation you want to be in. They're actually going to, I think that's Jax Hunter in.
I started saying
and
freshman.
He's going to be running, excuse me, they're actually going to hand off to Bates after they fake the handoff to Hunter. Bates fighting. Bates leans forward. Ooh, that stretch might have been enough. We'll see where they mark it here. Second effort might have gotten it. Indeed, it will. That's a Winterburn and Associates Insurance. First down, Raiders. So they fake it to the running back, hand off to the fullback. And A.J. Bates says, don't mind if I do. I'll pick up another Winterburn and Associates Insurance first down.
Yeah, and that was just a great second effort there by Mr. Bates, what we have called him. He will officially be Mr. Bates tomorrow, as he has an 18th birthday tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
So happy early birthday, A.J.
Pistol formation. Going to be a pitch play to, I believe that is Jax Hunter. Hunter to the sideline. Hunter, a nice little run here. Had a 49-yard rushing touchdown last week, and this time picks up, ooh, he must have stepped out of bounds early. I thought that was enough for a first down. They'll still give him 8 yards on the gain.
Yeah, good little scamper there by Hunter, and glad to see him already getting some minutes in the first half of this playoff game. And like you said, you had the big touchdown last week, and not at all surprised because he was really good in middle school.
Oh, without a doubt. I think he had 2,000 yards his eighth grade season.
This is not a kid that are just trying out his freshman year. He's got good experience under his belt.
Raiders working against the clock a little bit here. 2:41 remaining in the second quarter before halftime here. Hunter motions out wide. It's going to be a handoff up the middle to the fullback there, fighting forward, powering forward for another Winterburn and Associates Insurance. First down is Levi Reedy.
So Reedy doing the work, getting the chains to move yet again.
I love that the defensive tackle there basically had the back of his jersey and said, "You're going to carry me 15 yards, but I'm eventually going to pull you down." But 15 yards later, and I think Reedy will take that every time.
Yeah, Reedy's like, you're just another backpack. Hop on. So, but credit this front offensive line, especially what these fullback guys are able to do because they're putting the work in.
That was a 16-yard gain there. A little bit of a low snap. Schrader, play action Schrader, has Kennedy deep. Kennedy going to have to come back for this one. Dives, can't get it. That's the second time tonight. We've seen some great throws from Schrader, but about twice we've seen a couple where just leads his receiver a bit too far.
Yeah, and you mentioned earlier about condensation on the ball. It is a little different film. We're not trying to excuse what's going on, but you can kind of see it settling in here on top of the field as we started this game. It was just a nice 55 degrees, not a stitch of wind. So good night of football, but as that night wears on, you can see the field conditions. Even like this orange tarp that they put down for the Raiders on the side. I've seen some guys as they're running through slip just a little bit, because it's picking up.
Shotgun, twin back set. Going to be a handoff to, I believe, Colin Cagle. Cagle behind his offensive line there takes a pretty hard hit. He's going to end up picking up about 4 yards. It'll be third down for the Raiders. Clock still winding here, 1:25 and counting. Raiders need to show a little urgency if they want to put this one in for their 6th touchdown of the first half. Fans don't like how long this is taking here as we now tick under 60 seconds. 3rd and 7 Raiders. You know why? They're saying, hey, we're about to throw a 38-yard passing touchdown. You don't need a lot of time for that. So let's see if that's the play here.
Run the touchdown play. Isn't that the saying we came up with?
Did you get shirts made yet?
Not yet. Man, I've been busy, Mark, but that's that one. He's holding that in his hip pocket for this time right now.
Official timeout on the field. Maybe for tying shoes?
Yep. I'd never really seen that.
Yeah, usually I don't think they usually call officials timeout for that.
Player safety. That's what it's all about.
I think the Raiders have, they have 1 or 2 timeouts. The worst part is my infographic gives me the ability to keep track of that, and I did not do it, Jennifer. So pistol formation for Schrader. 2 receiver set, a couple tight ends. Play action. They're going to fire to Tucker Mayo. Mayo hurdles a young man, but it's not going to be enough. So do they bring out A.J. Bates for what would be about a 53-yard field goal here on 4th down? Let's see Bates. I want to see Bates.
Well, it does look like Bates just walked over into position.
13 seconds and counting here. Oh, looks like Raiders are going to go for it, but they really should have got to the line quicker if so. 7 seconds. Schrader, they're going to have a flag on the play. Raiders will have to call a timeout here, I believe.
False start.
Be 4th and 9 now.
Yeah, a little bit of confusion, I think, from the sidelines to what's going on the field.
What if, Jennifer, they want this to be a longer field goal for Bates, and that's why we're seeing this? My tinfoil hat moment here. Oh, they're winding the clock. Call timeout.
I don't know.
Oh, they didn't call timeout.
No, Patterson said,
fair enough.
We've done enough. Let's head to the locker room and regroup.
I would have liked to see Bates get a chance at that one, but that will be a timeout. And honestly, good sportsmanship there. You're up 35-0. So Raiders take a 35-0 lead into the half here. One of the most dominant nights of football probably in the state of Tennessee that we're going to see here in the second round as Richland. Raiders, offense, defense, coaching, fans, everything's been great tonight if you're a Richland fan, and that will take us into our Sundrop halftime report. So we're going to take a 3-minute timeout and be back with our Sundrop halftime report here on KSR Sports Network.
Hey, buddy, why the throwback uniform?
Well, boys, you see, It's to celebrate the glory days, the pride, the passion, the tradition.
Wow, what could be better than wearing a throwback uniform on game day?
How about throwing back a green and gold citrusy sun-drop soda in a throwback bottle while wearing my throwback uniform on game day?
The pride, the passion, the tradition.
Throwback a green and gold sun-drop today.
Employee Resources Credit Union is an easy solution to banking, offering a personal, simple, yet modern way to bank. When you bank with ERCU, you are a shareholder, meaning you own a piece of the pie. And we make it easy with the convenience of digital banking, with service you won't find at another financial institution, including low to zero fees and incredible rates. We have the technology you need with the personal service you deserve, right here in your own neighborhood. Employee Resources Credit Union, not for profit, for service.
We meet by accident, a play on words. But when you need us, we're there. Gerald's Auto Body and Gerald's Auto Repair is a trusted friend when you need auto repairs or auto body work. We specialize in making you feel at ease in a time that can be uncertain at best. We take the worry away and give you our very best. Gerald's Auto Body and Gerald's Auto Repair, a trusted friend when you need us. Call 363-0539 or drop by 716 North 1st Street, Pulaski.
This is Jill Kilburn with Big Green Dumpster. Whether you're cleaning out the garage or tackling a renovation, we've got you covered. We have 4 dumpster sizes, 11 to 30 yards. Order before 1 p.m. for same-day delivery. We offer demolition and junk removal. We offer a contractor's discount and include a direct text line for prompt service. Serving Middle Tennessee and North Alabama, our prices are online, so book now at bigggreendumpster.pro or call 931-903-2424. Big Green Dumpster.
First National Bank is an independent community bank. Being independent allows us to be innovative, to adapt and respond quickly and efficiently to your financial needs. We know the needs of this area. Our interest and our loyalty are to the people who live and work here. They are more than names and faces. They're our friends and our neighbors. Together, we're making communities great. Member FDIC.
At Haney Realty and Property Management, we strive to work with all your real estate needs. Listing, buying, property management, or rental, we have got you covered. Call me, Daniel Haney, at 931-309-8291 or come by the office located at 109 South 1st Street in Pulaski, and one of our agents will be able to assist you. Our website is www.haneyrealtypm.com. Haney Realty and Property Management. We are your best friend in real estate.
For all your real estate, property management, and auction needs, contact Haney Realty Auction Company.
Attention Giles County residents, looking for your next career opportunity? Look no further than M&M Staffing, your trusted local staffing agency. Owner John Braden Harper and recruiters Cree Holt and Mercedes Houston are all proud members of Giles County who understand our community inside and out. At M&M Staffing, we're your neighbors supporting local schools, athletes, organizations, and causes that matter to you. Visit us on Facebook, step into our office, or apply online at mnmstaffing.net. You can also give us a call at 931
Natural gas safety tips brought to you by Pulaski Natural Gas. Call before you dig. Don't hit a buried gas line. Before you dig or move earth in any way, call your local one-call number or utility locator service. They can tell you the location of buried natural gas lines, power lines, and other utilities so you can dig safely. These tips are brought to you by Pulaski Natural Gas, 363-1752, 363-1752.
And we're back here at the half. I'm Mark Mize. She's Jennifer Hawkins. Richland Raiders lead 35-0 here on our Sundrop halftime report. Jennifer, I think we all thought that Richland was the better team here tonight, but I don't know if I would have guessed that they were effectively 6 touchdowns better in the first half. Jennifer, they decided not to force the issue and try to score a 6th touchdown. And so, one, shout out to the coaching staff. I mean, as fans, I think the majority of the people here just want to see like video game numbers as many. Well, you have to remember that on the other side of that field, those are real people, you know, and folks that are, for a lot of them, playing their last ever night of football. And so you don't ever want to make it a bad experience while you're having fun.
Yeah, because you can tell from the sidelines on the other side, the South Fulton guys, we mentioned the word earlier, dejected. I mean, because they feel like they cannot do anything right. And it's really just, it's the frustration we've seen from a lot of teams this year as they come up against Richland Raiders. You know, the defense is just so solid at every level, and there's just not any way to really get around them, get through them, you know, nothing. You know, I mean, they're going to test you in the secondary. They've already broken up some passes. You know, it's one of those things that you watch the body language, and these are young men that have fought to get here to the second round as well.
And had a good season.
Yeah, and probably came in with high hopes, knowing that they were a little bit the underdog. But I'm like you. I don't think anybody kind of saw this type of setup coming, as we're going to be into the second half with a running clock and get out of here pretty early again. We'll probably get to see more of that second string JV. Weren't sure we were going to get that much after last week, and here we go. Another playoff round that we'll probably get to see some JV play tonight.
So Raiders up 35-0 at the half here on our Sundrop halftime report. Jennifer, here are some scores from around the area. One of the most surprising to me, and this is a reason why suddenly there is a world in which Giles County Bobcats win the state championship this year. Gatlinburg-Pittman, the number 1 team in the state, or number 2, I forget, is only up by 7 against Forest. A Forest team Giles County beat by 18. Now, granted, they scored 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter to beat them by 18, but still, suddenly, big bad Gatlinburg-Pittman that's 11-0. They may end up getting the win tonight over here. And by the way, Forest had to go to Gatlinburg for that game.
Yeah.
Had to go from Chapel Hill to Gatlinburg, and they still are only down by 7 on the road there in the second half.
Well, Quincy Mitchell on that Forest team, you know,
unbelievable.
He's just such an incredible athlete. Probably, in my opinion, going to be your Mr. Football there, possibly. And I mean, when he's on the field, I think you got a chance at any game.
Knoxville Halls is up 35-14 in the fourth over Lawrence County, so 8-3 on the season. Lawrence County, what a year they had. They finished as the 4th seed, and then they upset Ray County, the number 1 seed, 38-20 in the first round. So even if their season comes to an end tonight, what a season it was. Meigs County beating up on Sequatchie County pretty bad, 42-19 there. Lincoln County looks like they are looking to move on to the quarterfinals as they're up by 6 on the road at Powell, a very strong Powell team. So another local team making moves there. Tyner Academy up 36-7 over, is it Unicoi County? Unicoi, which, you know, pretty unsurprising there. Tyner's pretty good. That's who Giles would be traveling to next week. Giles is meanwhile up 20-6 at the half over McMinn Central. So Bobcats looking good there to move on. Alcoa only won 28-21 over Upperman, so nearly saw their season come to an end in only the second round. Moving up to 4A, maybe not the decision that they thought it would be, Jennifer.
Yeah, I think they thought they were just going to dominate in that class as well, and they have met some resistance. As, you know, you've seen stats about how long has it been since they've lost a region-type game or a regional championship, anything like that.
Yeah.
So, because, I mean, you heard the word Alcoa, and you're like, wow, we'll just show up and play, I guess. But, you know, who's got a shot? But a little bit different story for them this year. But you know, that's why everybody loves Friday Night Lights. I mean, that's why you want to come out and watch, and that's why it's got such a following. Is it's a fun atmosphere. It's fun to watch these games. May not be as fun for South Fulton right now. I know they're probably not enjoying it, but I know they've had a fun season getting to this point and have supported their team throughout the season continuing. But Raiders just asserting dominance early on here, and like I said, they're going to try to get us out here a little early again. Mark?
Looking at a few more scores, Marshall County up 20-14 at the half there. Page up 17-7 over Kirkwood. Page, of course, the number 1 team in 5A, who Giles, you know, gave them a scare in the season opener. McKenzie up 42-6 at the half over Greenfield. Procone up 14-7 over Crockett County. That probably is just about good. Actually, this is an interesting one. As you mentioned earlier, Dresden only up 15-14 over Fayetteville City at the half there. Milan up 14-3 over Mount Pleasant. Westview, that is number 1. You know, Gatlinburg Pittman's number 2. Westview number 1 is up 41-0 over Westmoreland. So in the Battle of the Wests, Westview absolutely dominating there. And then finally, Eagleville is up 7-6 over Middle College. How about Eagleville potentially on their way to, one, go to Memphis? Crazy travel for them from Rutherford County to Memphis, and to potentially be headed to the quarterfinals. Right now, there's a real possibility that Richland, Fayetteville, and Eagleville all go to the quarterfinals. I'll be honest, I think Dresden's going to beat Fayetteville City, but 2 out of those 3 teams are likely, and all 3 could happen. What does that say for Region 5A, where Richland plays, where they have 3 teams that are headed to the quarterfinals potentially?
Well, I think that's going to give a lot of credit to Richland to win that region when people start actually looking at that and go, you know what? That region was stronger than we anticipated. They've got 3 teams. You know, and Fayetteville, they're a scrappy team, and we saw that when we played them. They're not going to quit till the very end, and they've got a lot of good athletes on that team. So that's one that could come down to the wire. So, yeah, like you said, our region looking well represented tonight in the playoffs in round 2. But, yeah, Eagleville, I mean, gosh, just the travel itself is a battle before you even get to the game. And then going ahead and showing up into Memphis, and it looks like they're handling their business.
And so Raiders lead 35-0 over South Fulton here in the second round of the TSSAA Class A playoffs here at Wayne Hobbs Stadium. We're going to take another 3-minute timeout, and we'll be back with more of our Sundrop halftime report here on the KSR Sports Network.
When it comes to your family's health, you can count on Southern Tennessee Regional Health System Pulaski. We're focused on keeping you at your best with annual screenings and preventative care. Having a family doctor helps you stay healthy, so our Southern Tennessee Medical Group makes it easy to find one. Call 1-800-424-DOCS. That's 1-800-424-3627, or visit southerntmpulaski.com to find a primary care physician.
First Realty Group has been serving Giles and Lawrence County and beyond for decades. We're first because we have the best selection of land, homes, and commercial properties to choose from. Our fair price promise means you can shop with peace of mind locally and with customer care not found elsewhere. We also understand the buying process and what it takes to make it easy, from title to escrow to closing. First Realty Group. First for a reason. Visit frg1.com for all of your buying needs in Giles County.
Fans, from the coin toss to the final quarter, stay refreshed with an ice-cold Coca-Cola as you cheer on the Raiders. Just head to the concession stand and grab the perfect refreshment to share with fellow fans. Share a Coke with a teammate, a rival, or a friend this season. Thank you for choosing Pulaski Coca-Cola. It's time to load up on the best snacks and some delicious ice-cold Coke for all your game day guests. Nothing tastes like everyone you love and everything you like coming together. Coca-Cola. Together taste better.
May Oil Company, a 4th-generation family-owned business, is a supplier of fuel products and specialty lubricants serving Pulaski, Giles County, and southern Middle Tennessee from our offices and warehouse at 619 South 4th Street, Pulaski. May Oil Company is also a proud supporter of Giles County Bobcat and Richland Raiders sports. May Oil Company, supporting our Middle Tennessee communities for generations. 931-363-3704.
This is Clay Doggett, your state representative for District 70, and I'm proud to share what makes Giles County such a special place to call home. From our rich history and strong values to our thriving local businesses and hardworking families, Giles County is built on community pride. We're blessed with beautiful farmland, vibrant small towns, and neighbors who always lend a helping hand. Whether it's gathering for local events, supporting our schools, or growing opportunities for the next generation, Giles County continues to be a shining example of Tennessee's best.
And welcome back in, everyone. I'm Mark Mize. She's Jennifer Hawkins, bringing you Richland Raider football here on the KSR Sports Network. This is our final timeout here as we come back into our Sundrop halftime report before we start the third quarter of action, and Richland is up 35-0. We will see a running clock to start the second half. Jennifer, at this point, there's really not much left to say about the last 8 weeks of football other than only one team has even tested Richland in those 8 games, and that was Fayetteville City, which Richland, by the way, still beat by 15 points.
Yeah, I know. It's one of those, you look back and you're thinking, okay, well, this second round, this should be more of a test than they've had in the prior weeks, the last few weeks, other than Fayetteville, and then they come out and go, well, you know, not really. We're just doing our thing. So how good is this Richland team? I think they have been tested a little bit, Mark. I think they just make teams not look as good as they really are, you know. So Eagleville, a lot of people have asked me, they're like, yeah, but Eagleville, are they really that good? Yeah, they're winning on the road tonight, and they're taking care of business in second round. I think it was just Richland came out and dominated that game from beginning to end and kind of made Eagleville get out of their game plan, and they just took over.
I think I should clarify what I mean there, though, in the sense that it's not that they haven't played good teams, because Summertown was good, Eagleville was good, you know, Fayetteville was good. Honestly, no offense to Collinwood and Moore County and Cornersville, and especially Community. I don't know if those teams were, but I just named off, you know, Summertown, Eagleville, and Fayetteville City were all good teams, and Richland just, you know, won with relative ease.
Yeah.
And so it's not that they weren't good teams. It's just that they were not able to test Richland effectively because Richland just, you know, was so dominant. I mean, you talk about last season. I thought last season was probably one of the top 3 seasons in the history of Richland football. And I was thinking to myself, I think they're going to be really good next year, as in this year. But all those seniors lost. Where's the leadership going to come from?
Right.
What's that going to look like? You can't project that. I really genuinely believe, Jennifer, that this team is even better than last year's team. And I can't even comprehend how that was possible. I mean, the coaching staff of the last 4 years has settled into such a groove. The players, every senior class is as good as the last. I mean, you know, there's some point where you really hit your stride as a program, and that really changes things until suddenly you become a McKenzie, you become a South Pittsburgh. And I think Richland is becoming that right in front of our eyes.
Well, I think they're starting to create a lot of buzz. You know, there's a few sites that I follow online and through social media that follows our high school football. And every once in a while, they'll mention McKenzie, they'll mention Dresden, you know, and we're starting to get some comments. And it's not from Raider folks around. It's just from people that follow high school football. And they're like, don't discount Richland, you know. And that's kind of nice to see because I think people are really starting to take notice of this team.
All right, so let's change it over here to the third quarter of action as we are back underway here, as it'll be a kickoff to South Fulton. Richland started the night with the football, and so they will be kicking off. Going to be a short return here out to just around the 25-yard line where South Fulton will take over. And that was our Sundrop halftime report. Thanks for listening in here. But Richland Raiders up 35-0 as South Fulton will start the second half with the football.
Yeah, so it's always interesting when you've got a big lead like this. You come out in the second half, running clock, so it's going to go pretty quick. But how do you keep that momentum? How do you keep that energy after you've had to stop and play? Let's see how the Raiders kind of respond after this halftime stop.
And if you're South Fulton, are you really just playing for, you know, pride at this point of saying, hey, we did not truly give up? That's going to be a short pass completion to number 13 there. Shote.
As that's on the far side of the field. I didn't catch who was on the takedown there. It might have been is it either Tarpley or Cagle. Sorry, folks. As they get further away and Jennifer gets older, it's a little tough to catch numbers.
And this one, a precarious pass there as that one stayed in the air for a while, and then a big hit there by Trip Helton, I believe.
No, that was Cam Drake that came in and
number
cleaned
4.
up, and then Helton.
Oh, Helton
was
off.
in on the finish, but yeah.
That will be enough for a first down, though. So a 6-yard gain on the play. Be 1st and 10 at the 35 now. Joyner back to pass. Joyner being chased out of the pocket. He's got someone come from behind. As was that Thomason that absolutely leveled him there. Pass is, I believe, ruled.
So Drake on the knockout on the far side, and yeah, that was Thomason.
Yeah, it was
he's
complete.
had great pursuit in the backfield tonight, and so he's not got to complete or finish every hit, but he is causing them to hear footsteps from behind and forcing a little bit of those throws early and quick.
So Raiders do bring out the first team defense at least one more drive here. 2nd and 1 now. Pistol formation for Joyner. Joyner back to pass. Here it is. Nearly intercepted there by a pair of Raiders. Chief of those being Tarpley. Milan up 21-3 over the Mount Pleasant Tigers as we get a live look at that if you're watching the NFHS network. I like the call there to pass on 2nd and 1 because it's basically theoretically a free play because you're hoping you can get a yard here, but the Raider defense has several times stood you up here tonight. Maybe you don't. Handoff up the middle. Not a huge gain here, but it'll go for about 5 yards, and that'll be enough for another first down, this time into opponent's territory for South Fulton.
Journey, Bates, Foster, among others, in on the tackle. But like you said, pick up of about 5, but they only needed about 1. So South Fulton getting a little something going. We saw this in the first half where they were able to attack a few plays up the middle, but weren't able to cap it off with any points.
That was Lawrence on the carry there as Joyner is being chased down by Trip Helton. Pass is, I believe, incomplete as that's going to touch the grass there.
Yeah, and really you got to credit Helton on the coverage there as he read that and timed it out perfectly as he comes around that outside edge and forces kind of a quicker pass than intended for South Fulton. But, yeah, Trip Helton, who we've gotten to call more and more as the season has progressed. So he's been another good addition here for the Raiders this season.
Running clock in the 3rd quarter here, 8:05 remaining in this 3rd period of action. 2nd and 10 from midfield for South Fulton. Trailing by 35. Joyner back to pass. Joyner a quick out to the tight end, but overthrows his intended receiver there. I'll tell you, I wish I had number 19, the tight end's name. He wasn't on the roster that we received.
I think he's got to be one of those 16s, and they just
that's what we like to call a big boy.
Yeah, I was wishing they had size or something, but of course both those 16s are freshmen. I don't think that boy's a freshman.
A hog molly, if you will.
Yeah. He could be a freshman. I mean, Cole Doggett's got a lot of good size on him, and he's a freshman.
I don't think that's a freshman. 3rd and 10. Man in motion. Quick out there to the man in motion. Your receiver, number 9. He's going to pick up about 7 yards on the play. That'll bring up 4th and short. Number 9 is Mason Parrish, a junior. I'm going to say something controversial here.
You mark my eyes, I can't imagine.
This is why some regions that aren't very strong, or at least are top heavy, really show in the postseason.
Yeah.
Because this is a 9-2 team that Richland is up on 35-0 in the 3rd quarter. Joyner calls his man in motion there. Joyner hands off to Lawrence. Lawrence up the middle on the draw play, and he's going to pick up another first down. So Lawrence has enough there.
So
man in motion nearly fell down there on that play.
Yeah, Lawrence finds him a seam, and Tarpley has to come in and put the tackle in.
Might be a handoff to Lawrence again, and he is erased at the line of scrimmage by a couple Raiders there.
You always know it's a hit like that because the crowd responds in unison. It was like, you guys probably heard it from me if you're listening. Yeah, he was just stood straight up and hit hard up front. We've talked about the strength of this front defensive line, but really cohesively throughout.
Joyner, another quick out. That's really been the best play tonight for South Fulton, and Choate makes another first down. I will say, Raiders, though, playing a little soft defense here, up by 35. I don't know if this was a one-score game if they'd be doing that.
Well, we talked about coming out at halftime after you've had this stop and play and you're up big, and, you know, do you have that same energy that you started the game with?
Give South Fulton credit for showing some life here, though. They very easily could have just laid down. But it looks like they want to put some points on the board and keep the Raiders from getting their third shutout of the season. Joyner in the shotgun. Lawrence to his right. Two receivers near side. Rolls to his right. Being chased down, fires, has a man wide open there. Around the 10-yard line. That we'll see where they mark it. I think that's enough for a first down initially, but we'll see if they call for them to move the chains.
Trip Helton in on the tackle for the Raiders. Drake comes over to help assist, but really it was Helton that made first contact and has the takedown.
9-yard gain there for Gore. Probably no relation to Al. Joyner. Hand off Lawrence. Lawrence is stopped at the line. I don't think he had enough there. It'll be third and short.
Foster and Journey. Garrett meets him up front. Again, just showing their sheer power.
Might have even lost half a yard there.
So someone here in the stands yells, "Do it again," for the Raider defense. Big third down as South Fulton has kind of come out at halftime and is marching down the field. We're at under 4 minutes quickly, but
3rd and 1. Pistol formation. Lawrence is your deep back. Joyner's going to fire to the sideline. He finds Choate there. And I believe that's going to be enough for a first down. Gained about 3 yards, only needed 1. If anyone was wondering who the favored receiver here tonight, I think 2/3 of all passes have been to that young man.
well, you see why. I mean, he's able to corral those in and complete passes, and then he is able to pick up a first down for his team as South Fulton again threatening first and goal.
Of note, though, this drive has taken 9 minutes off the clock here because of the running clock. First and goal at the 9.
Yeah, that's not a standard 9-minute drive. A little different with the running clock.
Mulkey now in the backfield. Ooh, he's going to keep it on the quarterback keeper there, and wow, goes untouched into the end zone, 4-6. So our running clock will be no more as South Fulton puts the points on the board for the first time here tonight, 35-6, pending that extra point attempt. You can tell who the running quarterback is for this team.
Yeah, as he was able to just make his way up the middle as the Raider defense, they were so strong in the first half, you know, and just maybe lost a little bit of step here, but they'll recover nicely.
They are going for 2.
That's interesting.
The math, I mean, I guess.
Well, yeah.
I'll explain in a second, but I don't know about that. Joyner is able to dodge initially, fires end zone. I believe that was caught. Indeed, it was. For the 2-point conversion there to, is that number 9?
Yeah, Parrish.
Number 9, Mason Parrish on the 2-point attempt there. So 35-8 is your score. I actually don't have a button for a 2-point conversion, so I'll have to click 1 twice. But
extra work on you, Mark. Sorry about that.
I'll tell you. 35-8 is your score. 2:43 remaining in the third quarter. We'll be back after a 30-second timeout here on KSR Sports Network.
We've been cutting prices at Murray Chevrolet GMC. There are amazing red tag deals throughout our lot. Just look for the red hang tags and windows to find the very best deals in our inventory, like the Black Widow Edition Silverado 1500 RST with $12,000 off, or the 2025 Corvette E-Ray with over $14,000 in rebates. Many more great deals with thousands off on 2025 trucks. Swing through or visit our website, murraychevrolet.com, for all the info.
And we're back here on KSR Sports Network. I'm Mark Mize. She's Jennifer Hawkins. Raiders lead 35-8 in this second round of the TSS AA Class A playoffs, as Richland well on their way to hosting Big Bad McKenzie next week in a game that whichever team wins is probably going to be playing for the state championship, because I really don't think there's anyone on this side of the bracket other than McKenzie and Richland who can win this side. Now, on the other side, you have South Fulton, which has 3 Division I Power 5 signees on that team. Talk about some talent for Class A football. This is going to be a onside kick, and it will be recovered by South Fulton. So South Fulton catches Richland a little bit off guard there. Probably not too surprising that they would do that. Raiders had an onside earlier. South Fulton gets one now, and they'll take over with the football.
Well, Richland was expecting it because the coaches were yelling hands, hands, which means send your hands team in, you know, so they were aware of it. So immediately this Raider defense.
Yeah, watching the instant replay here. Yeah, there was somebody offside for South Fulton. Good call there by Will, who points it out. And so if you're watching on NFHS Sports Network, you can see it's the wrong call. But unfortunately, the referees didn't. And in a 35-8 game, probably doesn't matter as much as it could. But South Fulton gets the ball at the opponent's 47. Intercepted! Raiders headed the other way, as that's Cam Drake, and he will go for 6. That's a first Realty Group touchdown for the Raiders. So one play, and they reverse course. 41-8.
Couple times tonight that the Raiders, you know, had a little misstep and stepped right back in. Couldn't happen to a better kid, Cam Drake, who's had a big game tonight. So happy for him. He reads that from the snap, steps right in the lane, hangs onto it, and then open field in front of him and finishes it out, caps it off with 6 points.
So pick 6. That one will go about 60 yards there. Kick is up. Kick is good for Bates. So give Cam Drake 6. As the Richland Raiders lead 42-8 after that 55, maybe 60-yard interception return touchdown for Cam Drake, brought to you by First Realty Group. We'll be back after a 30-second timeout here on KSR Sports Network.
This is Mike Keefe for Winterburn and Associates Insurance. Winterburn Insurance is a full-service insurance agency, meaning they can help you with virtually every kind of personal insurance. Keep them in mind for auto, home, life, and health. Winterburn and Associates Insurance has been serving Giles County and the surrounding area for nearly 70 years, so they truly are a trusted choice. Get a quote online at winterburninsurance.com or call 363-8638. Winterburn and Associates Insurance, proud members of the Insurers of Tennessee.
What a play, Jennifer. And of note, I'd like to say something. Both times that someone has got recovered an onside kick, the next play was an interception. Schrader threw an interception earlier. And then immediately there, as Joyner throws a pick, and you could tell the moment that ball was thrown, Drake says, I absolutely know I can beat my player to the ball here. And just only one man to beat, unable to take him down on the ankle tackle there. And a 55-yard pick 6 for Cam Drake makes it 42-8. Richland leads here with 2:20 remaining in the third quarter. And you know what the most important part of that is? We get a running clock again, Jennifer.
I started to say thank you, Cam Drake. He knows we want to get home early, so doing his part to help us out. And, yeah, South Fulton shows a little life, gets some points on the board, goes for the onside kick, recovers it, and then Richland says not so fast. Let's turn this thing back around as they do put more points up on the board, lead 42-8. And just an exciting return for Cam Drake.
Jennifer Hawkins, noted fan of the running clock.
Yes.
When her team is winning, that is.
I'm a noted fan of getting home early, Mark.
Looks like we have a new, oh, never mind, that is still Joyner. As he skips a pass to his receiver there, incomplete, 2nd and 10.
Yeah, skips a pass, but that's not allowed in football, Mark. So they'll line up and do it again. And we're already back down to 124 ticking away. So, again, this second half rolling along.
Yeah. Shotgun formation from the 20-yard line. as Joyner is in, and alongside him is a person who is not on the roster. I'll tell you, you think you have a good roster until the rubber meets the road and you see the guys on the field. Joyner hands off to the unnamed young man. Short gain on the play.
Number 24 is what you'll have to just refer to him as, yeah, because we've got a few jerseys out there that don't match what we have.
You know,
in our
I
lineup.
was considering naming my son number 24. It's got a great ring to it, I'll tell you, Jennifer.
I suppose. So first name 20, middle name 4. Is that what you were going with?
There's a 12 in Elon Musk's kid's name.
This is true.
You can do it. 3rd and 9 as things are getting loud once again with these cowbells. Shotgun formation for Joyner. Looks like press coverage here. Oh, nearly a pick there for Levi Reedy, and it's going to be a tackle for loss as the Raiders come up with a big tackle for loss there.
Yeah, Reedy applies the pressure, and then the I can't talk. Reedy and Raiders coming out all together. Foster and Mayo to finish it out. That's going to be the end of the 3rd quarter.
So that will do it for the 3rd frame. 42-8, Richland leads as it'll be 4th and 14 for South Fulton when we come back here for the start of the 4th quarter. We'll be back after a 1-minute timeout here on KSR Sports Network.
Hey, buddy, why the throwback uniform?
Well, boys, you see, it's to celebrate the glory days, the pride, the passion, the tradition.
Wow, what could be better than wearing a throwback uniform on game day?
How about throwing back a green and gold citrusy sun-drop soda in a throwback bottle while wearing my throwback uniform on game day?
The pride, the passion, the tradition.
Throwback a green and gold sun-drop today.
Employee Resources Credit Union is an easy solution to banking, offering a personal, simple, yet modern way to bank. When you bank with ERCU, you are a shareholder, meaning you own a piece of the pie. And we make it easy with the convenience of digital banking, with service you won't find at another financial institution, including low to zero fees and incredible rates. We have the technology you need with the personal service you deserve, right here in your own neighborhood. Employee Resources Credit Union, not for profit, for service.
So 4th and 13 for South Fulton as we start the 4th quarter of action. A running clock here for the Raiders as they lead 42-8 in the 2nd round of the TSSAA playoff. Looks like it's going to be a fake punt as I think that was Mulkey who tried to run for it. I mean, they needed 13 yards. I don't really understand the call there, Jennifer.
Yeah. I'm with you, Mark. I was expecting a little something different on that play call, but
a little razzle-dazzle, if you will.
A little razzle at least. But
you had neither razzle nor dazzle there. As that's actually only going to be, man, I think they only picked up 2 yards there. They needed 13 as they ran the punter right into the line of scrimmage. It'll be 1st and 10 Raiders on the turnover on downs.
And it looks like we're going to get our JV lineup here for this offensive set, as I thought I saw Mason Cox trot onto the field.
I believe you're right. 1st and 10 at the opponent's 19 for Cox and the offense. Jax Hunter probably going to get a steady diet here at the running back position. Already had a really good run here tonight. He's your deep back. Oh, what happened there? I think that the center actually made a false start there.
Yeah, a little too eager, you know, getting into the game and getting a few first snaps here for this JV lineup. We were not quite surprised to see them last week in the second half of that game. Was a little unsuspecting here tonight, as we thought this might be a little bit of a better matchup in the 2nd round, but
yeah,
Raiders took care of business early on.
South Fulton leaving in their starters here, so a Raider 2nd team offensive line got their work ahead of them. But Hunter's pretty shifty here if he can get to the outside. Pistol formation, 1st and 15. Taking as much time off the clock as they can here with 10:15 and counting on a running clock. Hunter gets the ball. Ooh, Hunter hit hard here in the backfield. That'll be a short loss on the play.
Well, we saw this a little bit against Collinwood last week. They left a lot of their first string in against this JV team. So not only are they getting good experience minutes, but they're getting to go up against some older, bigger guys. So they're getting a good field test here.
Yeah, and that's good and bad in the sense that, you know, South Fulton is so much bigger because you have 18-year-olds versus what is probably 14-year-olds in a lot of cases, maybe some 15-year-olds there. And so, you know, you can take some big hits there, but.
Well, Cox was just an 8th grader, too, so he
may
only be 13. Yeah.
Which is his number. Be a pitch play, 200. Hunter to the outside. Oh, it makes a couple men miss there. It gets bound to about the 28. So I'm going to say he picked up 1, maybe 2 on that play. Could have been a 3-yard loss, but it shows a little shiftiness there too.
Yeah, he was first met in the backfield, but is able to kind of, I mean, Hunter's one of those that we're going to keep an eye on as well, as he's got a bright future ahead of him as a running back.
I believe Bates has 4 field goals on the year. This would potentially be a chance for his 5th, depending what happens on this play. It'll be 3rd and 18. Raiders may go to the air here, but they may just go ahead and keep running it as they're just trying to run down that clock. Indeed, they will. Hunter's going to run left side this time. Hunter fighting, but just can't get free versus a senior-heavy defensive line for South Fulton here. So, indeed, A.J. Bates head out to the field.
Yeah, so we'll see the first string offensive line come out to get this set up.
You know what I hate here? The fact that if it had been 1 more yard, it would be a 50-yard field goal, as is at the 49-yarder.
You're so disappointed. You want him to get a penalty?
I like 50-yard field. Yeah, let's go ahead and make this 54. Just do a penalty. All right, so A.J. Bates lining up, 49-yarder. Ooh, tough play there as Cam Drake's now going to have to run for his life. Drake fires a pretty good pass. As that was, well.
Peyton Willis.
It wasn't enough, though.
Yeah,
but
he was
Willis
short,
does
but
catch the ball.
What an effort, though, so by Cam Drake, as he tries to make something out of nothing. It just, the timing got off or something when the snap went down.
Yeah, you know, that's a really fun play, even if it wasn't for a first down there, is he's going to end up picking up about 8 yards. So, you know, Cam Drake is actually probably one of the top 3 guys you want throwing the football on this team, because he's a talented catcher in baseball, and so, you know, he's got a great arm, and he really threw a strike there. But you would prefer that he gets to hold it for a kick rather than having to desperately try to make something happen. So that will be a turnover on downs. 6:59 and counting remaining in the 4th quarter here. 42-8. Richland leads. This one, Joyner throws it up for grabs, and it's going to be picked off. And that was, it's one of the youngsters, so it's going to take me a minute to figure out who it was.
They're still down. Let's see the number here.
Luckily, I have a really good instant replay here. Well?
No, that's Tucker Mayo. That was still the first string that was out, and so I think, was it Tucker Mayo?
No, that's not Mayo.
He always gets up celebrating like he's just so excited for his team. I always think it's him.
Shooter Foster.
Shooter Foster on
with
the
the interception.
Okay. So again, this defense just reading those lanes so well. Going to give these youngsters another chance. You know what I was going to say on the Drake throw a while ago. Yeah, he didn't pick up the first down. He didn't, convert it. But it did pin South Fulton a little deeper. Of course, it didn't matter. They throw an interception on the next play. But, it could have been a tackle for big loss and put them about midfield.
So this one will be from around the 26-yard line. Pistol formation for Cox. Pitch, Hunter. Hunter gets the outside, but he's actually dragged down here. So that's going to be another loss on the play. The fans are getting a little anxious here. You want to see one of 2 things. Either South Fulton sub their guys out, or maybe put the skill position players out there from the second team, and maybe your starting offensive line.
Yeah, just to get some blocking up front and open up those lanes like they've done so consistently this season.
Yeah.
Well, because you don't want to get anybody hurt either, because
Yeah.
you've got some mismatch on size here and experience. And so, Hunter's doing all he can. He's being kind of in the backfield.
That is not his fault there. They
No.
loses 7 yards on that play. He's really trying to make something happen. And really, second-team offensive line just not quite ready to go up against those seniors. They will here. Hunter, we'll call this play Hunter. A little shifty move there. Picks up a couple yards. But of note, remember that I think there's one freshman, and of course Cole Doggett, and one sophomore who plays some meaningful minutes on the starting, not necessarily starting for the sophomore in question, but there's a couple guys who play some meaningful minutes there. And so this isn't the offensive line you'll see next year, because you're going to add a couple guys with a lot more experience, I think, than what you're seeing here.
Yeah, so this is, like we said earlier, these are guys that need these minutes, and they're going up against stiff competition on the other side. So it's going to kind of mature them as they get play after play going.
4:17 remaining here in the fourth quarter. 42-8 is your score as the clock is jumping randomly. Now it's 3:59.
Well, that's what I noticed. It was 4:10,
Math,
then it was
how does it work?
4:17, and they
Delay of game. Because there's a running clock and they're not stopping it for the penalties, technically you don't have to snap the ball again, because you can just accept 5 more delays of game. I don't think they will, but.
Yeah, I'm glad you noticed about that clock, too, because I thought my eyes were doing something weird to my brain. But
after so much math during the day for this math teacher, Jennifer Hawkins, eventually the numbers just all start to run together. 3rd and 21. Shotgun formation for Cox. I'd like to see him get a chance to air it out here.
Yeah.
They're letting it run all the way down here, 8 seconds. Ooh, Cox, a design run play here for the quarterback, and he'll get to the 40, but it's going to be 4th and very long. So another chance. Bates, this time, it would be a 59-yarder, which might be a Class A record. It's not a state record, but that might be a Class A record. I'm excited to see what happens here.
Didn't he attempt, wasn't it 59 a few weeks
he
ago?
He did.
I think they said they let him attempt it because it would be a single A record.
This is actually only going to count as 58, though, because, look, they put it right on the 40.
Well, I don't know what the record actually is.
I don't either.
Yeah. I should have researched that a little better. But, when you're getting into second-round playoffs, you're not thinking he may have a shot at this.
Kick is up. Kick is deep, but it's going to be short. Yeah, ends up falling right at the L in the end zone there, probably about 8 yards, maybe 10 yards short of being good. So good attempt there for Bates, but that's going to be no good.
But I like that they're letting him kind of give it a ride, see what he can do in game time situation. And it happened to him this last time. It's always toward the end of the game when his legs are a little more tired, and the weather's just getting a little bit crisper.
What you're saying is on the first drive tonight, they should have let him attempt a 60-yard field goal. I get it.
Go for it.
I get it.
Run to the spot, set it up, knock it out from the beginning.
All right. So they're going to start at the 20. South Fulton ball. Going to have a jet sweep play here. And wow, what a play by the second-team defense there. Those are still the starters out for South Fulton, and Parrish is brought down hard.
Well, that's still that's first-string defense. Yeah, that was
okay,
Colin Cagle.
My bad.
I think they just want to kind of wrap this up and put it away.
Yeah. They're probably upset that they gave 1 touchdown. I was going to say,
Not going to let it happen again, right?
Yeah. 2nd and 11. Just 1:15 remaining in the fourth quarter in between Richland and a second straight state quarterfinal appearance. Ooh, big rush there from Chase Thomason. Joyner gets the ball off to Lawrence, and he is tattooed out of bounds. Picks up 3 yards on the play.
Mayo and Foster on the takedown out of bounds. A couple names we've called a lot tonight.
Third and 7. As we're hearing Veggie Tales in the background here from the Richland sideline band. Under center here, Maryland I formation. Oh, that's a trick play. Was that a Fumblerooski play there? As I think the fullback ends up with it, but it doesn't really matter because that's going to do it, folks. As the clock runs down, Raiders win it 42-8. They are 10-2 on the season, and they are headed to a state quarterfinal matchup with McKenzie, as they will be traveling to Wayne Hobbs this year. Richland will be hosting a third straight playoff game next Friday night, Jennifer.
Yeah, so the win streak continues here at home, and you and I will have the call again for another Friday Night Light game. The rematch with McKenzie. I think this is what everybody was hoping for, as the fireworks, we thought they were out of budget. They'd use so many tonight, Mark, but they still had a few left to celebrate this victory at the end of the game.
So Richland wins it 42-8 here, as they basically mercy rule the South Fulton Red Devils. And we have a final here tonight as I change the scoreboard. 42-8, Richland wins it, improves to 10-2 on the year. We're going to go ahead and take a quick timeout, and then we will be back with, hopefully, Coach Nick Patterson and a couple of the players coming up here to be interviewed by you, Jennifer. So Richland wins it 42-8, back in 2 minutes here on KSR Sports Network.
This is Jill Kilburn with Big Green Dumpster. Whether you're cleaning out the garage or tackling a renovation, we've got you covered. We have 4 dumpster sizes, 11 to 30 yards. Order before 1 p.m. for same-day delivery. We offer demolition and junk removal. We offer a contractor's discount and include a direct text line for prompt service. Serving Middle Tennessee and North Alabama, our prices are online, so book now at bigggreendumpster.pro or call 931-903-2424. Big Green Dumpster.
First National Bank is an independent community bank. Being independent allows us to be innovative, to adapt and respond quickly and efficiently to your financial needs. We know the needs of this area. Our interest and our loyalty are to the people who live and work here. They are more than names and faces. They're our friends and our neighbors. Together, we're making communities great. Member FDIC.
At Haney Realty and Property Management, we strive to work with all your real estate needs. Listing, buying, property management, or rental, we have got you covered. Call me, Daniel Haney, at 931-309-8291 or come by the office located at 109 South 1st Street in Pulaski, and one of our agents will be able to assist you. Our website is www.haneyrealtypm.com. Haney Realty and Property Management. We are your best friend in real estate.
For all your real estate, property management, and auction needs, contact Haney Realty Auction Company.
Attention Giles County residents, looking for your next career opportunity? Look no further than M&M Staffing, your trusted local staffing agency. Owner John Braden Harper and recruiters Cree Holt and Mercedes Houston are all proud members of Giles County who understand our community inside and out. At M&M Staffing, we're your neighbors supporting local schools, athletes, organizations, and causes that matter to you. Visit us on Facebook, step into our office, or apply online at mnmstaffing.net. You can also give us a call at 931-347-4255. M&M Staffing, your bridge to a brighter future in Giles County.
Natural gas safety tips brought to you by Pulaski Natural Gas. Call before you dig. Don't hit a buried gas line. Before you dig or move earth in any way, call your local one-call number or utility locator service. They can tell you the location of buried natural gas lines, power lines, and other utilities so you can dig safely. These tips are brought to you by Pulaski Natural Gas, 363-1752, 363-1752.
When it comes to your family's health, you can count on Southern Tennessee Regional Health System Pulaski. We're focused on keeping you at your best with annual screenings and preventative care. Having a family doctor helps you stay healthy, so our Southern Tennessee Medical Group makes it easy to find one. Call 1-800-424-DOCS. That's 1-800-424-3627, or visit southerntmpulaski.com to find a primary care physician.
And we are back here for our post game. I'm Mark Mize. She's Jennifer Hawkins. Richland wins at 42-8. I believe we're going to have Coach Nick Patterson and some players headed up here as the Richland Raiders are headed to the state quarterfinals after another big victory here tonight. Jennifer, 3 of the last 4 years, Richland has hosted postseason games. And during that time, they've only lost 1 home game in those 3 years.
Yeah, they just perform well here at home in front of this crowd. And I think they feed off the energy of the crowd, and you're just comfortable in your home setting. I mean, think about it, Mark. When you go home, you feel comfortable. I mean, that's kind of the way it is, and so you just kind of know how things roll. So they've just had a lot of success here at Wayne Hobbs, and we're going to get to test it out next week. Big matchup against McKenzie next week as they're taking care of business against Greenfield on the other side of our part of the bracket. But I really think that's the matchup people wanted to see. I think it'll be a good one.
Oh, absolutely, no doubt. And so Richland Raiders tonight led 35-0 at the half. I mean, just looking back, Jennifer, they scored on 5 of their first 6 possessions. They posted a shutout in the first half. I mean, can you imagine a better start to a football game here? I mean, basically from the first drive of the second quarter, this game was already over.
Yeah, I mean, they came out quick and early, and I mean, just put up 3 scores back to back to back, and you could see South Fulton. It's kind of like what we experienced in the Eagleville game. I think Eagleville was in such shock they didn't know how to recover, and so it's one of those. I think that was the same thing with South Fulton tonight, which I don't know that they were quite as dominant as Eagleville team, but it's one of those, like, what do you do? I mean, nothing could go right for South Fulton. Everything was going exactly right for Richland early on. And so, I mean, just more of the same is what they're going to have to do next week. I think about the only thing you might say to clean up is the penalties.
Absolutely, yeah, penalties. And I will say, too, I mean, it's so hard to nitpick, but obviously Richland had a couple little, like, blunders in which, come on. It's coming up to Coach Nick Patterson here, in which, they had the interception. They had another touchdown. They probably could have scored there, but, kind of it didn't get to the line in time. But, so now we have John Garrett's coming up for a second straight week here. Looks like we're going to have A.J. Bates as well. And so, Jennifer, I'm going to hand it off to you and let you do some interviews here.
All right, I think I've gotten tangled up in your headset, though, so don't knock me over, Mark. I'm fragile, but, give us just a second, folks. We're going to kind of transition as we have 2 headsets. And so joining us first tonight, Mr. John Garrett yet again. Hey, we were just doing this last week, so let's just let the trend continue. Why not? But congratulations, big win. How were you guys able to come out early and just assert your dominance?
Getting hyped before the game, is a big part of it. Just coming out with energy and just wanting to win, really. I mean, it's all about the want to.
Talk to me as a senior. You're one of 16. How are you guys leading from a standpoint of seniors? How are you guys talking to your younger classmen? I mean, they're getting some big minutes in these playoff games, but what are you guys doing during the week to kind of keep the momentum going?
I mean, just coaching them up and, getting them on scout team, just making sure that they're getting the reps they need because, you can't do anything if you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, and you guys are definitely proving to folks you've got it figured out. So you've got a lot of memories from your years of being on the Richland Raider team. What's been some of your favorite parts of being a part of this team?
I mean, just coming out here, made it be early or late, just coming out and having fun with my brothers pretty much.
Absolutely. So big week next week. So we're going to wish you guys good luck. We're going to let you switch out. Thank you for joining us, John. And I'll talk to you again next week after another big Raider win. Does that sound good?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, let's do it. So next on the headset with us, the one, the only Mr. Bates is what we like to call him. Last week, you don't know this, I didn't get to share this with you this week, but we kept saying your name because I was going to say Bates is going to boot the ball, and it came out as Boots, and then it kind of stuck because, that's exactly what you do. But first of all, happy birthday tomorrow. So good birthday present. Big win here for you, Mr. Bates. So tell me, okay, I got to know, I'm going to ask right now, about onside kick. Planned or not, or how'd that work out?
Partially. We were trying to kick it in the middle, because there was a big open space. And, one of our guys is, he knows he can get it. So, if he was that confident, we were going to let him do it. And I accidentally kicked it a little short, but it worked out. So I can't complain about it.
You're so honest because you're supposed to say, yeah, that's exactly how we planned it. That's exactly how we rolled it up, AJ. But no, I'm just messing with you. But so I ask you all the time, you tell me, I want to just run fast, hit hard, and that's kind of what you tell me every time. But honestly, you play all parts of the game. So do you have a favorite part?
Well, I just enjoy being on the field. You know what I mean? Really, my favorite part is getting to play for the team I do and have just have what we have. I love it. Just every part about it. There's no special part, or there's no part above everything else to me. It's
just all football, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
I love it. So, all right. So you're going to get to enjoy this win tonight. Very dominant, but you're looking ahead next week, McKenzie with a big win. I don't know if you guys knew that yet, but they're taking care of business with Greenfield. What's the plan moving forward there?
Well, I can go ahead and tell you the same thing as normal. Run fast, hit hard.
There it is. That's what I was waiting on.
But I mean, they're a good team, and we're gonna have to be on our A game. And I think that if we can get our heads right, when we get our heads right and we get on that field, I think we'll be all right.
Absolutely, and got a little bit of revenge to come. They got to come to Wayne Hobbs, too, and you guys have been successful here. So congratulations, another big win. We've enjoyed getting to call your games and be a part of the Raider Nation, enjoying this season with you guys. But, hey, let's do it again next week. It's been a lot of fun. So that was A.J. Bates, the senior that you just heard from, along with John Garrett. And now we're going to get Coach Nick Patterson on the headset here and hear his thoughts after this big win. And Patterson, here's what's happening. He's having to clean off that headset, a little bit of sweat there from Mr. Bates sharing with you tonight. But first of all, Coach, big win. Tell me, how were you just able to get your guys get their head in the game from the beginning? And you guys just came out and shut the door from the beginning.
Well, it's an experienced group. We got lots of seniors playing ball, and they understand what's at stake, and that every game could be their last one, and so we're leaving it all on the line, and really proud of how they played and their effort tonight for sure.
Well, talk to me a little bit. You said about the senior leadership and stuff. These guys, because honestly, knowing these guys in the building, they don't jump out like you got this one leader or this two leaders. They really lead as a team. How did you develop that with a group of 16 guys?
Well, just holding themselves accountable first, and then holding each other accountable, and they do a good job of picking each other up. And like you said, it's not just a one-man show. It's really all of them, and at different times and in different ways. But they know what's expected. We've set a culture and standards of what we expect. In practice, in the weight room, in the classroom, and so they hold each other accountable and get it done.
Absolutely. So I know you're going to enjoy this short-lived because I know how you operate. You're going to kind of play back through this. What are things you need to improve on moving into next week against McKenzie?
Well, obviously we got to clean up some penalties. Like I told them at halftime, we're getting different crews from different places, and they see different things, and so we just have to adapt, and we got to do a better job of adapting to the game and what's going on. If they're going to call something a certain way, then we've got to do a better job of releasing a little sooner or whatever it is. And that's probably the biggest thing. I thought offense and defense and really special teams, I think we clicked pretty good for the most part all night, so pretty pleased with that.
Absolutely. Hey, you heard it here. He was pretty pleased. That's usually more than we get out of you sometimes. But
we can always be better.
Absolutely. And I know you're always going to say that. But Coach, it was just, from the get-go, you guys just kind of put your foot on the gas and didn't let up there in that first quarter, especially, and leave no doubt. And then you come out second half. You talk about adjustments with penalties and stuff, but how do you kind of keep momentum going throughout that second half when you got a big lead?
Well, just like I said, understanding the situation. We wanted to keep the clock running. They were able to come down and get one, put one in, and then get the onside. But, we kind of shut that down with the pick six by Cam Drake, so that was big for us. And, put our twos in and, just trying to execute like we told them in there, whether they're first team, second team, third team, when they get in and you get an opportunity, make the most of that opportunity and do your job.
Absolutely, and as someone that gets a little older every week, we appreciate the running clock because it gets us home a little bit earlier and lets you start getting into some film and some other things a little quicker, because I know you're going to break this apart numerous times before you ever try to hit the pillow tonight. But congratulations, Coach. It's been so fun. This is becoming a trend, so let's do it again next Friday night.
Yes,
we wish you the best of luck.
Quarterfinals next Friday night versus McKenzie. I need this place rocking, so I'm putting a challenge out to all of Raider Nation right now, and we'll do it throughout the week. But we want the cowbells rocking, milk jugs with rocks, everything, and fence lined up. We want a big show for next week, because we're going to put on a big show next week.
Absolutely. We'll help you get the word out. So, again, congratulations. Big win, Coach Patterson. Go enjoy it for a little bit, then get to your film, and we'll see you next week for McKenzie.
Thanks, guys.
So you heard just now from senior John Garrett, senior A.J. Bates, and then head coach Nick Patterson. And now let's hear from the illustrious Mark Mize. I like that he said he was pretty pleased. We never really get that from Patterson. As a coach, they always want a little better, but I don't know. He had a lot to be pleased about tonight.
I mean, that's one of those cases where really they were so dominant tonight that, even if you try to pick it apart, even if you try to nitpick, it's just so hard to find things to really, critique them on, because they were just so good start to finish. Once again, up 21-0 after the end of the first quarter. They could have been up 42-0 at halftime if they had wanted to be. But actually, whenever you're in a situation where you're letting your foot off the gas just because you don't want to embarrass the other team, that really speaks to what you did on a given night of football. And so just incredible. And you're exactly right there. Usually, you're never going to hear coaches be like, I'm pleased with everything. Everything was great and nothing could be better, because that's not the mentality that leads to excellence. However, you could kind of tell by the smile on his face. I know none of y'all could really see it unless you're watching NFHS, because Will was able to get us a pretty good view of Coach and the players while you were interviewing them, Jennifer. You saw a little smile on his face there. I kind of feel like he was a little happier than, the average coach wants to let on, because there was just so much to be happy about tonight.
Yeah, how could you not be? I mean, they really just kind of came out and took care of business from the get-go. And I think people are going to really start taking notice, because I think folks expected this game to be a little bit better. And then we're here in Fayetteville is leading Dresden now.
Yeah.
Eagleville's still in a head-to-head battle with Memphis Middle, and it's one of those that, hey, Region 5 is no joke, and Richland
Absolutely.
Walked away as the champions of that, so they're the real deal. I think people are really taking notice now.
Yeah, and the thing is, I won't say who it was in the group chat, but one of the group chats, somebody said, there's no reason why Richland can't beat McKenzie. After watching the game tonight in NFHS. And quite frankly, I agree. I mean, it's going to take Richland's best game, but, in week 5 of the season, I would have said there really wasn't a chance. But I have been convinced. Richland has convinced me that if they bring their A game and this place is rocking and it is a raucous environment next week in which the fans, everybody does their part, there's no reason that Richland can't win. And then from there, it actually gets easier in the semifinals than it does in the quarterfinals, and you're probably playing in Chattanooga if you win next week. And so, count me convinced. I think Richland has every chance to win that game next week, but it's going to take a big week by the coaches, the players, and it's going to take a big night from the fans. And so you heard it here first, folks, from Coach Nick Patterson. He's putting y'all on alert. He's calling you out, and he needs every single person in this county who's not head over to Tyner for the Giles County game. So Giles County fans, Richland fans, no matter who you are, come out here next week and see if Richland can make history and head on to the semifinals with a quarterfinal victory over the number 1 team in the state, McKenzie.
Yeah, absolutely the biggest hurdle they'll have faced all season. But, 12th man, Coach called you out. Let's do it. Show up. And, he wants people a packed house. Homecoming's always super packed. It's got to go extra next week, because they're going to need to feed off the energy of this crowd, because McKenzie's a machine.
Yeah.
And for a long time, people thought you just can't beat McKenzie. They're just dominant in every type of sport and different things. But this Richland football team, we keep saying it, there's something special about them, and this is the team that could do it.
Yeah, and like we said, next week quarterfinals, man, tough matchup versus the number 1 team in the state. Semifinals, you probably get a reprieve in which if you can beat McKenzie, you probably win the semifinals, and then you catch a team with 3 Division I players, South Pitt, in the championship. So it's not an easy road, But this is the most special Richland team I think I've ever covered. And so if anyone can get it done, I think it's this group of Raiders.
And I think it keeps coming back to every time we interview these guys, they don't want to take individual acclaim. They don't want to give individual shout-outs. It's about team. It's about brothers. They're playing for each other. They've played together for so long, too.
Yeah.
So they kind of move as a unit, and it's paying off for them. So it's just been a lot of fun to get to call, a lot of fun to be a part of it, and just a great group of guys, too, to be around.
Absolutely. So, Jennifer, any final thoughts before we sign off tonight?
Well, Mark, it's been so fun. I think we should come back next week and do it again.
I believe we will.
All
and
right.
so, a huge shout out to more than anyone in this building, Will, who was obviously able to come out here, Will Pettis, who brought some of the best equipment I've ever seen, highest quality production I think I've ever seen. I mean, genuinely, there are college teams that don't have as good of production as we had here tonight on the NFHS network through the help of Will there. So a huge shout out to both him and Coach Nick Patterson for making this happen. Big shout out to JP Plant, our producer, as well as, Morgan, Kinney, and all the fine folks at KSR Sports Network. But Raiders win it 42-8, and they're moving on for the second straight season to the state quarterfinals. Tune in next week or come on out to Wayne Hobbs Stadium as Jennifer drops her handy-dandy notebook.
To the
But Raiders win it 42-8. For Jennifer Hawkins, I'm Mark Mize saying thank you and good night.